Who you play at advance, Faulk?
The Niners.
Oh, okay.
Bet they tune in now.
Get the watch for sure. Put my name in that chat right now.
Man, we got a lot to get to today. I need to hear something real fast. While we got a lot to get to today. Alright, it ain't going there, just in the headphones. Perfect. Alright. So I'm gonna do some Skadime shit. We're gonna talk about injuries, you know, I'm gonna go through that, standings, things like that. We're gonna get into it right now, man. We are back at it. Episode 5, Season 2, Real Draft Season 2. Real Talk, the show, man. The title is Faulk O'Reilly. Truth be told. And with that being said, man, you know, our shows that of the past, so season 2, 4, 3, 2, 1. Those shows been diaper dandy related. We talked about the rookies and where they at right now. Obviously, we're gonna stay on that conversation. We always gonna talk about the rookies. Anytime it's real draft, we'll talk about the rookies. The league is based off that. We got some interesting news. I'm gonna do all my plugs now before we get into our deep conversations of the league and what's going on around the league. You know, due to the salary cap situation, we will be making adjustments to how things are going to go going forward. I had plans on dropping this news last Thursday, but we didn't do it. Held back. We wanted to really get everybody's mind that's in the rules chat to have a vote, minds to wrap around what we're going to do. So within the next couple of days, we're going to put out, you know, the way we're going to move forward with countering our situation with the salary cap. Outside of that, let's get into injuries and look at injury reports right now and see who teams are safe and what teams are actually dealing with injuries right now. As you can see, the Ravens has Ben Grubb out for 1 more week. His dislocated knee had him out for 4 games. He'll be back in a week. Saints are free. Seahawks are free. Steelers aren't free. Johnny Crawford, the tight end, their number 2 tight end, is out with a dislocated hip. Texans is free. Titans are free. Vikings are free. Bears are free. Bengals are injury free. Bills, Broncos, Browns, Bucks, Cards, Charge, Chiefs aren't injury free. Right tackle, Daniel Burnham, dislocated elbow. He is out for a week. Colts are injury free. Cowboys are injury free. Dolphins are injury free. Eagles are not injury free. Marcel Brooks, the young rookie diaper dandy outside linebacker, that I thought was a great pick for those guys. 81 overall. He was a starter from day 1. He's out with a dislocated elbow, but he's only out for 1 more week. They lost him for a few weeks. So he's gone now. He'll be back after the advance. Now, Falcons are injury free. Football team are injury free. Football team was hit with the injury bug all last year. This year, they're safe. Giants are injury free. Jaguars are injury free. Jets are injury free. So are the Lions. Packers are not injury free. Zach Claiborne, 25-year-old defensive end, 92 overall with a torn labrum, out for 2 more weeks. Panthers are injury free. Patriots are injury free. Raiders are not injury free. Willie Brown, 25-year-old D tackle, dislocated hip. He is out for another 3 weeks. That's big for the Raiders. They're big D tackle, man. I know they can't wait to get him back. But he's definitely out for another 3 weeks with a dislocated hip. Rams are injury free, and then right back to the Ravens, as you see, are injury free with the Saints. The Ravens have their linemen out. We've been playing with linemen hurt all year. Some of them come back at the end of the game. That one didn't. All right, let's get to the standings and see where we're sitting at right now. We still have a whole bunch of guys undefeated right now. The Bears are sitting at 6-0. Bills are at 6-0. Cardinals are at 6-0. Bucks are at 6-0. They're your top 4 teams. All right, so the Bears are sitting at 6-0. I don't think they had their signature game yet to define what type of season they really having right now. The Bills did though. The Bills played the Ravens early, like week 4, and they pulled that dub out by 10. Um, Having 2 wins in a row, championship game and a regular season win over the Ravens right now. And Buffalo Bills are sitting at 6-0 with 221 points scored, 138 given up, 6-game winning streak. The Cardinals have had their signature game this year. As you can see, they're lighting the scoreboard up, 387 points scored, only 93 given up. They're 6-0. Their signature game this year was against the New York Giants. And the transformation of the Giants going from Elijah Manning to Bryce Young. And we're going to talk about that. And there are your champions, Super Bowl champions, defending champions, have scored 424 points this year, and they've only given up 84 points on defense right now. They're sitting at 6-0, and they haven't had their signature game yet, sitting at 6-0. All right, to round off the top 5 are the Baltimore Ravens, 6-1. Again, their only blemish was to the Buffalo Bills. Right now, Jaguars 5-1. Their loss was to the Ravens. Patriots are 5-1. Their loss was to the Bills. Cowboys 6-1 this year, man. They're playing really well. 211 points scored, 134 points given up. Giants are sitting at 5-2, at 9, and at 10 are the Philadelphia Eagles at 4-3. Those mighty Texans, man. They spoke early and said, "Don't be so sure that the Jaguars will be winning this division." They looking to take this division over, and they're sitting at 4-2 right now. However, they did have a drop loss against the Jaguars in their first matchup, so that second match will be all important. Browns are at 5-2. They still in the mix at 13. Or the Panthers at 4-3. We like the fact that they're 4-3 right now. They got to switch that. They got to score points though. 198 points scored and gave up 207 so far. Dolphins sitting at a 14 with 4-2. 247 scored, 196 given up. And the Raiders are 4-3, along with the Chargers, Vikings, and 49ers, with 3 losses. That's your standings, man. You look through the divisions and who's matching up well this year. Obviously, it's between the Ravens and the Browns in the AFC North. And the AFC South, I think it's still a 2-man race more than a 3-man race right now. The Colts are 1 year removed from the playoffs, and right now they're looking like they're on a 5-game skid right now. Is Desmond Ridder, is he in his sophomore slump right now? Texans are 4-2, Jags are 5-1, and they're fighting for this division. I think that race will stay between those 2. In the AFC East, where Coach Faulk calls this the best division in football, you see the Bills are 6-0, the Patriots are 5-1, Dolphins are 4-2, and the lonely Jets are sitting down here at 1-5 on a 2-game losing streak. Obviously the race is here. I mean, the Patriots and the Bills play really tight games. The Dolphins and the Bills are super enemies. I don't know if they matched up at all this year. But that's a game that we must tune into as always, because there's nothing but shit talking and fireworks in that game. In the West, you know, the Broncos are on vacation right now, so he's sitting at 0-6 due to non-activity right now. So the race is between the Raiders and the Chargers. Chiefs can slide their way back in too if they can just schedule their games and get on point with shit and start to really get tuned into that team. Got a lot of work to do, man. They built a great defense over the years, but that offense, you know, they making a switch from Patrick Mahomes to a new quarterback, so they got to get things going over there. They're starting to bring their pieces in, and eventually, you know, once they get their type of guys in, and we can start really judging this team and see where they're going to really be at. But the Raiders 4-3, they got a shot getting back into the playoffs along with the Chargers. Coach Corey is playing again. He's sitting at 3-3 at 500 right now. On the north side of things, the Lions won the division last year, but right now the Lions are in turmoil. They're struggling a little bit. They're on a 5-game losing streak, with the Bears being 6-0, Vikings being 3-3, and the lonely Packers sitting at 2-4 right now. I do think the Bears are back in front of this division, but I'm not sure these are all man wins. I think you're getting a lot of forced wins or 50-50s. So 6-0, and you probably played 2 or 3 games, maybe 2 games, 3 games if that. Doesn't show me dominance right now. NFC South, everybody's active over here. Got a lot of guys tanking this year. I'm gonna hold that speak your truth to when we get to the Faulk rally session. But the Bucks are 6-0. They play all their games. Panthers are sitting at 4-3 right now. Tanking Saints, tanking Falcons. NFC East, all four of these teams are active as hell. With the Cowboys on top of this division, 6-1, over top of the Giants right now, 5-2, with the Eagles 4-3, and the football team sitting at 2-4. They're on a 4-game losing streak right now. The football team made the switch from Doolittle to Sims, the quarterback that they drafted, or they traded for after the draft, and they absolutely are excited about that switch. So we'll continue to play that. In this division, we got two teams that are playing with new quarterbacks. One I thought was a great move. The football team, in my opinion, Doolittle has given them a lot, but not enough. So for them to go to Jeff Sims, the quarterback from Georgia Tech, the dual threat, I thought that was a good move. So I like them giving themselves some competition in the quarterback room. But fuck, man, the Giants, their situation was self-made.
Completely self-made. Thought it was propaganda at first. Trying to create a situation that, most of the league thought wasn't there, but, internally they thought it was there. You don't know what goes on in that building. But from the league perspective, we thought Elijah Manning was the quarterback for years to come.
In my opinion, Faulk, Elijah Manning has done nothing wrong for this team but win games, win a Super Bowl, always be in the playoffs, always win big games. He's, and putting up numbers in the process of that. At the end of the day, I thought he was on pace for having a Hall of Fame career. I think this was just a owner GM move. If you follow the league, you saw a lot of. First of all, you saw 5 quarterbacks go in the first round last year.
Yeah.
And
5.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
No, you said 5, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And 5 that went in the first round that we didn't expect that many to go in the first round at all. Now, they all had first round great talent, but the problem was the league, because we didn't switch over and start a new league, we kept the league. Everybody had quarterbacks. So at that time, it becomes, for the most part, preference. Literally, the Falcons, in my opinion, was the only team that I saw actually going quarterback. We saw the 49ers, too. I thought they can go quarterback as well. We saw them bust a move in the top 15, top 20. The Broncos got DJ Ugalele. Although Kellen Mond has been playing really well for them, I think that wasn't a bad move, though. Don't know if he had him on his board or what, or that was a computer pick or what. He usually don't draft, but him getting DJ Ugalele, I think, that's a quarterback that will prosper over there and will be a name in this league where he won't die. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
Now, in my opinion, man, you go look at numbers, like you say, Faulk, men and women lie, numbers don't. How do you explain it to your quarterback who you blew your team up? I mean, you traded Saquon Barkley away. You built nothing but receivers around this team. You brought weapons in. You brought protection in, and you put all your eggs in Elijah Manning's basket. And off of a great run he had last year, losing in the NFC Championship and defending his Super Bowl championship, he comes in the week 5 and loses his job to a rookie quarterback from a trade. I'm gonna just ask you, how do you explain that? That's first and foremost.
Well, I think it's just a show of how competitive the league is and how desperate guys are to really win and win at a high level. And what I mean by that is, I think Elijah Manning last year started to show some signs, or whether it was new play calling or plays that he wasn't really familiar with at the time. He just something that he implemented, installed. He saw and he installed. Elijah Manning threw a lot of interceptions last year, and I think that kind of was unusual for the user, the coach, and I think that kind of had him in hot water. Okay. And then it just boiled over this year. I think it just boiled over where I think they wanted to spark, they wanted to go a certain way, but I don't know if that was the right move.
I definitely don't know if it's the right move, but when you start looking at numbers, you can understand the concern in a way. All right, I mean, in 2024, this man threw 85 touchdowns. In 27, he threw 73. right behind that Super Bowl year, he threw 75. The difference is this is the most interceptions he threw in his career, which is 36. Besides that, it was 26, so he threw 10 more. But if you look at his start of 2029, it's his lowest QB rating, 97.5. Yards, 966. He threw 11 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, and he was sacked 10 times too within 4 or 5 games. So that's big. Um, is that enough to make you, make your front office worry a little bit?
Yeah, and I think it's just a confidence thing. I think the coach is always going through, identity conflict. He's going to run the ball, throw the ball. And I think he just struggled with installing some new things, and then having the reads down pat. 11 touchdowns, 10 picks in 4 games or 5, whatever it was. And that's quite a bit. And then again, this was just from last year, so I just think it reared its head. It reared its head. I heard some talks about he wasn't a locker room guy. Because of his uncles and who they were, he kind of thought a lot of things were easy. He had to work for it, so it was like an arrogance there.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the coach they felt they needed to change. They felt they needed to change, and we'll see if it's really the best move. I mean, only time will tell.
Right.
Does that really make them better, or does it not? Or was it just a slump? I think time will tell. My personal opinion, he pulled the gun a little too early, but again, I'm not there every day, so I don't know what he was seeing, or the regression he was seeing of Elijah Manning.
Now, when we interviewed Elijah Manning, Skadimes asked him the question, how did you feel about, being benched for the most part? They went and traded for a guy, and you had no idea, and it was an overnight thing. It's like you woke up, you're not the starter anymore. His response was, within building this team and them giving me early access to front office decisions, a lot of moves was made, but like I don't blame myself. At the same time, he said he put some of the blame on his shoulders. But he says, the turnaround that they had at the receiver room, they plan new receivers all the time. He has no chemistry with his offense right now because there's always new faces coming into play. So a lot of it was, in his opinion, was just chemistry. You got to give it time to give us timing down. He's like, for the last 3 years, we've had different starters at receiver. And I have to get and agree with him. That's very important. I kind of agree with him there. You gotta let it play out.
That's real important. If every year the GM and the coach is bringing in new guys, it's hard to get on the same page. There's no continuity there. There's no rapport, right? So
Right.
I think, that's something to look at. And I mean, was he unfairly benched? If he getting new receivers, new toys every year, when is the coach and GM going to settle down and just say, this is our receiver room, let's build, let's work, let's, it's tough. A lot of people can't just plug and play.
Right.
Some people need that rapport with each other, that continuity, that relationship to really make it work. So I don't know, man. That's big. That's big. That's a good point. Elijah Manning got a great point, actually. Not a good point.
What do they do though? Like, if they're, while they're playing out the season right now, they made the move to Bryce Young. Do they, if you had to make this decision, is Bryce Young on a short leash, or you ride it out with him?
I think you got to ride out. You traded for him. Former Heisman winning quarterback. You made your bid. It's time to lay in it, good or bad, right? So I think it's, you just sit in this team is a ready to win now team, right? So if you go back to Elijah Manning, you basically all over the place. You made this decision for whatever reason you made. You got to ride with it the rest of the season, good or bad. Like, it's just what it is.
What does the future look like for 27-year-old Elijah Manning? I mean, he's in his prime right now. Like,
if I was some GM in the league, I would get on the phone and offer him maybe a fifth round pick, and I will go get him, even if he's a backup. With injuries on right now, it never hurts to have insurance.
Right. Now you say
And I
a
think
guy like
Elijah
him,
Mann is
fifth
not
round.
done. I think a fifth round. I mean, he ain't starting, so you ain't gonna get nothing else from him. Everybody got a quarterback.
I understand. I was going to say I understand exactly why you would say something like that. Me personally, if I'm the GM, I'm looking for maybe a future pick that'll give me a higher opportunity to get a higher pick somewhere around third round, something like that, or maybe even
I
two
think the
threes.
league is smartened up. I don't think
Hmm.
he's gonna get it for him. I think it's a Baker Mayfield situation. Like,
I agree.
listen, the Browns, y'all fucked up. They showed your hand. We know y'all got to trade him. Y'all want him in the locker room. So now we just going to lowball y'all. Fuck around, and go for a seventh. So I think that the Giants made that move too.
Yep.
Wrong, where basically you can't really go back to Elijah Manning unless injury, and you can't really get much for him. So
And through this
everybody just got
process,
traded.
and through that trade process, it's way too early to just say to have an opinion of this was the wrong move or this was the right move. In your opinion, is it too early for a decision like that to say yeah this was the wrong move or yeah this was the right move?
No, I think it's still too early. I think time will tell. I mean, planning, he's obviously a rookie, but he did do some great things in that game. The Giants are still the Giants. Um, with that D line and that inside stuff on all of them, he's definitely still a formidable opponent, and he should be reckoned with, regardless of how many losses he has. But I think Bryce Young in particular, he did a lot of good things in our game we played. He did some bad things, but
Right.
I think the future is bright. It's just is he gonna get different opportunities from Elijah Manning? Is he gonna keep the same receivers? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, is he gonna have that same team and continuity that obviously Elijah Manning saying he ain't have?
Now, when you look at this situation and we start looking at top performers of this year, we're deep enough where we can start seeing top performer action, but we're not going to be able to talk about award race at this point right now, right? When you look at the passing leaders, Kyler Murray is sitting on top of the top performer list right now at 74% completion percentage, 2,915 passing yards, 41 touchdowns. The next man up is AI Anthony Iverson at 64%, but 2,575 yards, 29 touchdowns. And then there's the young diaper dandy Bryce Young. In Minnesota, he still was part of that offense that throw the ball vertically down the field. And in my opinion, I understand why the Vikings wanted to trade a guy like that because he's not for their system. Bryce Young is a playmaker with the football in his hand. Although he could throw the deep ball, that's not his game. He's very accurate and he's very, is the word right, intuitive on, what's the word I'm looking for? Improvising.
Right.
And he does a really good job of that. But yet, he's sitting here at 64% with 2,440 yards and 25 touchdowns. He's the third top performer and passing leader. What does that say?
It says he's locked in.
How much credit do you give to the Vikings for him to be on this top performers list?
I give a lot of credit to the Vikings. I think he's shown that he's one of the better passers in the league from the numbers he's put up. Would like to see more of spreading it around a little bit. But whoever his quarterback is, the top receiver, they're going to throw for 3,500 yards, 40 touchdowns. That's what they're going to do. So I think he's shown that he's one of the best passers in the league.
Now, rushing leaders, Tremaine Bass from the Raiders, 195 carries on the year in 6 games.
Hold on, talking about how much?
195 carries in 6 games. We in week 7 right now. He's leading that list with 1,219 yards, 14 touchdowns.
Can you go to his passing stats and then tell me what his record is? No more.
All right, they're sitting at 4-3 on top of their division, with the Chargers being 3-3. As a passer, his quarterback Ray Wills has 1,715 passing yards, 180 attempts, 115, 63% on the year. He's averaging 245 yards a game passing the ball, 98.2 QB rate, and 13 touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
Okay. All right.
In their backfield, they got Dog and Kenneth Walker the third, who played really well, had the most snaps last year as a rookie. This year he only has 9 carries. They went back to Jermaine Bass, with their quarterback being the second leading rusher on their team. But they're a run team, man. The Raiders want to run the football. They built this thing to be runners. Now Tremaine took a year off because they dealt with the rookie. They wanted to build that rookie. They did a pretty good job of it, but this year they're not giving him the ball at all. And in that situation, Tremaine Bass has 195 carries. He's averaging 6.3 yards a game. He's averaging 174 yards a game, 1 fumble on 195 carries, and 14 rushing touchdowns. Raiders are back and they run the ball. I like his system. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think if he can go a little deeper in what he does, I like his system.
I think he got something going right there. I could agree with that. I think he got something going with that.
All right. Now, Joey Cummings is back in the building. You know, we talked about Joey Cummings last year, and let's talk about him for a second. Last year, the Cowboys, they was 2-6 last year?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
2-6 last year, and then they rolled the back of Joey Cummings, and he got them in the playoffs. This year, they said they were going to get that man the ball. 152 carries, or is that 162? 152. He got 1204, 14 touchdowns. He's number 2 on the rushing leader list and the top performer right now. The Cowboys are 6-1 right now, with Joey Cummings leading their offense. How good is this running back, Faulk?
How good is he? He probably top 3 in the league, if not a little bit better.
Make a case that he's the number 1 running back in the league. Could you make that case?
I think without him, the Cowboys would be a 3-1 team.
So you saying this team that hasn't missed the playoffs since season 2, without their running back Joey Cummings, they're a 3-1 team.
Is that important to the team?
I mean, when you make a statement like that, that tells me that that's how good he is as a running back.
Yeah.
Are we looking at Emmitt Smith of the 90s with this running back? That important?
Yep. Exactly who we looking at.
He said he was on pace this year for 400 to 500 carries to make a statement that Travis Etienne, Jaleel Ruggs, backs like that get, Harold Street, Tremaine Bass, those backs that get high carries are not the best running backs in the league that his guy is. Where he's at right now, 152, 1204, 14 touchdowns. Is he on pace to show that?
Yeah, he's going to demolish that.
All right, so our next back on this list is Jaleel Ruggs, a familiar name, guy that just won an MVP last year, won his second MVP in his career. He's sitting on 100 carries, 1,029 yards, but he has 27 rushing touchdowns right now. The Faulk rally session. Truth be told, is this the best running back in the league?
Jaleel Ruggs?
Yes, sir.
Is he the best running back in the league? Whew. It's just a loaded question. From the standpoint of production, without that. But I've seen this story before. If that makes sense. I've seen Ronald Jones do the same thing. So is it really the running back or is it really the system?
System, right. It always comes back when we talk about the Bucks. It always comes back down to the system.
And just, I mean, yeah, I think honestly Ronald Jones did it better.
Hold
when
on. I
you
got a text message saying that I need to come out and come back in because the stats aren't updated. Some of them might not update until we advance. We're in the middle of a game that's being played to advance. I'm gonna do it though anyway. I'm gonna come out and go back in. Let's see if we back at the updates. Oh, yeah, he was 100% right. All right, so let's go back to the passing leaders right now. All right, so the diaper dandy Bryce Young is not in the top three passing leader top performances right now. It's Kyler Murray at one at 74%, 2,915 yards, 41 touchdowns. Jerry Bradshaw is second at 77, 2,721 yards, 25 touchdowns. Then there's Anthony Iverson behind him at 64%, 2,575 with 29 touchdowns. And you look at the running, he's at 127 carries now. Jaleel Ruggs 127, so his numbers changed. 1,162 and 31 rushing touchdowns right now. I mean, he's got more than the next man closest to him touchdown wise has half of what he has as far as touchdowns.
yeah,
31,
I
14,
mean
14.
we've seen this story before, right? So I think Ronald Jones had 70 touchdowns, 60 or some high number. Um,
I don't know.
I just don't know. I don't like when I see Cummings or I see for example like Bozeman, like those guys is like that's like shit. You gotta know where they at all the time. When I play against Ruggs, I don't get that. I just think he's just a product of a great offensive system that just move the
I
ball
mean,
up and
when
down
you,
the
I mean,
field.
the system is what makes you dominant at the same time because if you can plug and play, and within your system you can build greatness and dominance, dominant players at those positions. I mean, it goes hand in hand. But I kind of understand where you're coming from because we saw that with the Ronald Jones dominated the league as a
And,
rusher.
and
I
even when I
would.
think Ronald Jones is better from the standpoint of Ronald Jones really impacted the game. Ruggs, I don't. I think he just get down to the red zone and he score touchdowns. Like, I don't see that many long breaking runs or I don't know. I don't see it. I don't watch every game he play, but I just think a lot of the stats or his offense gets down the red zone and he just punch it in. Just my
Hmm.
opinion.
All right, well, Craig is on. You want to say something? What you got? What you want to say, Craig?
No. I mean, Ronald Jones and Drew Lock, they both dogs. So I mean, I ain't discrediting Ronald Jones, but what I would say the only difference is Ronald Jones coming from the beginning where teams wasn't 99 out, where Jaleel Ruggs is running against everybody 99, everybody got speed, everybody got this, everybody got that, D line, O line, inside stuffers, outside stuffers. Ronald Jones, he kind of got to run against a dominant line who everybody else didn't have what everybody has now. You feel me? Like if I played against the Cardinals and the Ravens, then yeah. But other than that, I had a lot of games where Ronald Jones wasn't getting touched for 40 yards. You know what I mean? So
That's a valid point.
yeah,
It's
I
a
mean,
valid point.
I love both of them though. You know what I'm saying? They both my running backs, so I ain't really saying who is better. But Jalil Ruggs though, he definitely a dog. I mean, we I guess you could say it's in our system. And that's been what's been said about me since we been starting this whole this. But um, he don't. You can't really say he just goes to the red zone and runs touchdowns in because he averages almost 9 to 10 yards a carry. So that isn't going in the red zone and running 1 yard in. Um, so I guess it's just
I mean,
everybody's entitled to
that's
their
where
opinion.
most of his touchdowns come from though. Like I don't know how many. I don't think he has a lot of long touchdown runs this year. Like what's his 20 yard? How many 20 yard runs he has? 40 yard runs. That I guess that could tell our story.
Yeah. I don't know
I think that's
if we
some
could
of
break
his.
down the stats like that, but I mean, he got, he averaging 9 yards a carry. So if you just running 1 yard touchdowns, then you ain't gonna average that. You
No,
gotta
no,
have
not
some
at
breakout
all. I
run.
mean,
Yeah,
it's
you gotta have some breakout runs.
we had
Yeah.
his Israel averaged about 8 yards a carry last year, and he didn't really have too many long runs. It was, 20 yard here, you know, But again, I mean, I just watching some of the games, a lot of his damage is done in the red zone, as far as touchdown production.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Strictly that. I don't really watch too many to know how many. I just know Ronald Jones. That motherfucker was 88 and out the gate all the time. But you bring up a good point that everybody's team wasn't built. Um, so I think Ruggs may be a product more so of your passing game than anything else. No discredit to him, just
Yeah,
just the fact.
yeah. I see where you're coming from.
Ruggs came in the era of built with the 99s go. Those guys already being built. All you had to do is just get the dust the rookiness off of them. And then from that moment on, he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like so, I think from the mud, Ronald Jones came from the mud, like where
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying it was back where and to be honest with you, I think is it easier when you got a bunch of holes on your team? I know early on playing the Broncos in the first like three playoff runs. He couldn't stop my run whatsoever at all, and I had the horses, the line. They gelled together for 3 years. And I did switch running backs, but from Tyson Williams to Casey Fields, he couldn't. And then as the league got better and guys got better team wise and player wise, the running does become a little harder in running the football. But is there really a difference between where your teams were at in the beginning and guys that had big stats then versus what's now? Guys where everybody's team is built and guys are done because those guys come out. You can say Ronald Jones wasn't halfway as built how Ruggs was coming out.
That's a fact too.
You know what I mean? Like you could say that with any of
Yeah.
the players now. Like these drafted players come out. I mean, you getting 80 and plus overalls in the fifth and sixth round. So, you know what I mean? So the guys are built for the most part already. You just got to put the work in with them, and put the work in and get those guys to the level of what we're talking about right now. When you look at the receiving list right now, Faulk is three tight ends leading the top receiver list right now. Eric Gilbert, 54 catches, 985 yards, 19 touchdowns. John Jenkins, 33 touchdowns, 99 reasons, 852 and 10 touchdowns. And DW, Darnell Washington, 37, 8, 13, and 13 touchdowns right now. Two diaper dandies are on the list of receiving list right now where, you got dogs at the receiver position, but why are three tight ends leading the league right now?
I think it's with Prodigal. Well, I mean, 99 reasons. Let's start with him first. I think he's just always done that. He's just always been a model of consistency year in year out. And in my opinion, he is the Bucks offense. He makes that system go right. 'Cause
Yep.
you gotta always know where he's at. And that's just normal for him. What you're seeing with the Eric Gilbert in Washington is teams looking at 99 reasons, and like, all right, we need to have somebody that can impact the game from that level. You could go get you a 65 receiver, 96 speed, make him a 99 speed after a few years, whatever the case is. But to have that tight end, that's a dog. That's just a mismatch wherever you line him up. You know what I mean? Like, can't no safety really guard him. You got to put the corner. He too big.
Too big for corners,
Linebacker too slow. Right?
or too athletic for the linebackers in
Yeah.
the
So it's like
athletic
just that.
linebacker league.
Yeah. So just to have that, I think league people are seeing that because it's a mismatch. So it's just like Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates,
Hmm.
having those guys is just like you could come out in a run formation and really know, like, all right, well, I'm in a run formation, so they got to play something where they got, big linebackers on the field and 4D linemen, sometimes five. Well, now I got a mismatch because more than likely this tight end is going to be on a linebacker and or safety.
Hmm.
Um, and that's where your bread get buttered. And I think teams are realizing that just off the success of 99 Reasons, and they went in. So
So let me ask you this. All right, truth be told. So 99 reasons we seen him do this. Back then we had a debate: was he the best receiver? I mean, tight end in the league when we seen the emergence of Bryce Moss. Well, he's been consistent and he's the best tight end in the league. No one could argue that right at this point, right? Um, is it new sheriffs in town, Eric Gilbert and Darnell Washington at this point right now, or is this a product of us playing with guys that we're making these guys right now? We giving them the targets, we putting them in situations. Do we carry it on, or do 99 Reasons stay atop of this list because of the production he's going to get, being the number one weapon for the Bucks? So my question is, do we get new toys next year? And next thing you know, we're not worrying about Eric Gilbert. We already built them, Darnell Washington, because
I
this is
think
the build year for
that's
him.
another loaded question because I can see that like 99 reasons as long as he's with the Bucks, his production ain't gonna change.
Right.
Now it is possible that Eric Gilbert and Dwayne Washington won't be the focal point that they are now. Right now they're nice shiny toys. Um, you know how it is when you get something new. You like it, and then
Mm-hmm.
you put it away in the toy box, and you might play with it, but here and there,
Once in
not
a
like
blue,
you loved
yeah,
every
it's not
day.
like it
Yeah,
was when you
so
first got it. You're right.
I think the constant is Eric. I mean, the constant is 99 reasons. As long as he's on that team and he's at his ratings don't drop, he don't get old or retired. He's going to do pretty much what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they go in another direction. I think for Eric Gilbert, me personally, I probably get bored with it. He's not going to do this again next year. His shit, but not this, because
Yeah.
how I play. I'm gonna sit there and want to get maybe a new running back involved or another receiver. Like I'm not going to right now. I'm focusing on him because he's just the new shiny toy. You know what I'm
And you
saying?
got to build him. If you want him to be
And I
ready in
got
the
to build him.
playoffs, you
I
got
got
to
to build
build
him.
him. Simple
I
as
got to
that.
build.
That's
I
what
want him to
Darnell
unlock.
Washington is.
So I'm moving him all over. What he's doing right now, can I see myself replicating that with him? Probably not, because it's gonna be somebody new I'm gonna have or something new I'm gonna want to do. Uh, I can't speak for you, but I think you the same way. You know what I mean?
Exact same
Whereas
way.
I think 99 Reasons, he's just that he do that every year. So as long as he on the team, he gonna do that. You know what I'm
He gonna
saying?
put that work in, man. He's listen. We seen tight ends. We haven't seen him. I mean,
I,
flat
I
out
think
haven't
Bryce, I
seen him.
think Bryce Moss though, if you look at the numbers, if Corey would have kept playing, Bryce Moss would have been in that conversation as well
I agree. I
because
agree.
he was running the ball with him too.
Yeah, I agree.
Like he had rushing touchdowns with him, and you know what I mean. Like he was up there in MVP. Like we've never seen
A tight end,
99
yeah.
reasons, and
MVP run race and talking,
Bryce Moss was up
top
there a couple
three.
times.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. I agree. I mean, but we never seen this either, though. The receiving leaders, we're looking at three tight ends leading through the week 7 right now,
it's
leading the
special,
league.
man. It
Yeah.
definitely is special. Um, but yeah, I think the constant is going to be 99 reasons as long as he's in Tampa. Um, I think for me, I know Gilbert. He probably his shit, but we like to
Yeah,
diversify
yeah,
over this
yeah.
way.
The attention to detail to those players right now at this point are build first. That's what it is. It's build first. The numbers come with building. Um, it's a difference. We want these guys to be ready to play and not guys like I can give you an example. I got DNs that played snaps last year, but wasn't nowhere near a focal point. I would say they played enough, but they still play less enough to be called red shirt guys who come in the league 84 overalls, 85 overalls, and right now with the Green Arrows up, they're sitting on 90 overalls. Well, with those players, Gilbert and Washington, these aren't guys that we want to put in a situation where they develop as redshirt guys. They're focal points right now. But I think offensively, the way we play and the way we build guys, those guys will fall off. But I don't think they who the fuck what
Natural
the fuck is
evolution.
that? Is that you, fuck?
Ain't me.
Hell no, that ain't no fault. Fuck no, you got this crack, man. What the fuck?
Put it back on, cause I'm missing the joke because I was too worried about what I was trying to say and not being able to
ain't,
say it.
ain't
What
no
was it?
joke. I'm watching Facebook, man. So
Oh, on your Facebook shit. You don't get your motherfucking.
What the fuck is
What the
that?
fuck is he doing? But like the bill, Faulk. You get a player, you get more. It's multiple players, it's not just one. But you get a player or two that you drafted. They're new toys. You want to play with them, but you want to no homo. But you want to get them guys built and ready, to be ready for moments and games that end up being important games that where you might
That
need them. Like
matter.
right, so like Eric Gilbert, what he's doing this year, next year come around, he might not have the same numbers, but if you go to him on that 3rd and 8 and need that big catch, he's prepared for it.
He's there for you.
That
Yeah,
motherfucker is
yeah, and that's the thing, man. It's really, real draft is made for the rookies.
Mm-hmm.
It's made for you to feel excited and develop your players, and it's just like this league is just more of a because we carried it over. You're actually seeing guys like, uh, 99 Reasons or
Kyler
Kyler Murray
Murray's and those guys.
or Lamar Jackson's, or that you could see the stats and their progression over 8, 9, 10 years. But typically, real draft, you really trying to get rid of guys. Pretty much like everybody ain't gonna get a 3rd contract. They
Right.
barely get a 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
After their first 4 years, they might be gone. You know what I'm saying? Or before that 2nd contract is up. You know what I mean? So, it's about your GM game. It's about retooling. It's about being ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like I might draft this year for 2 years down the road. Cause right
Right.
now I'm good. I might draft a motherfucking tight end. Like hold on, he just got Gilbert. Nah, but King James on his way out.
Right.
I mean, I might got a year or 2 with him left, a year left with him. But
Foreshadowing.
well, yeah, exactly. Great word, great word. So, that's what real draft's about, man. Really get your GM game on, and the people that really get their GM game on, the hitters of the world,
The hitters of the world.
the snakes,
The AntHits of the
hits,
world.
you know what I'm saying?
I
Like
got ready for
those,
real draft, 2 drafts before real draft.
those the people that you always see. Like, man, I am motherfucker. Like with me, I just hop on and play. Sometimes I get my GM on, but most times I just play. You know what I mean? But those guys year in and year out are, moving, shaking, spending times in DMs, putting packages together, to just constantly change their team and get ready. And then sometimes it's a detriment too.
Right. Definitely.
Sometimes
Yep.
they forecast too much,
Mm-hmm.
right? And get rid of guys a little
Way
earlier.
too
So it
early.
depends. It
Mm-hmm.
depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it. There's no right or wrong, but within the rules of the league.
All right, so let's get down to the sack leaders right now. We got a guy that has a brother in this league that's leading the league in sacks right now, called Young. Chase Young's little bro. 14 sacks right now, 5 tackle for loss. Is Tyreek Smith. Is this a Arizona Cardinal with 10 sacks right now?
Yes,
5
sir.
tackles.
Yes,
We're gonna come
sir.
back to him for a second. Jeremy
Yes,
Cumberland
sir.
Farms is there too with 9-1.
The
Talk about
mentorship.
you draft. Is this a rookie or this was the drafter from last year?
Red shirt freshman.
Red shirt
So
freshman.
what happened was we saw 2 years ago. I think Vicky D and Cumberland might have came off their second 20+ sacks season. Like I
Mm-hmm.
had 2 times they both had 20+ sacks, and I just knew I said, all right, getting a little old. Let's get his replacement. Let him sit. Let him watch greatness.
These
So we
fucking cats
drafted
ready to
him.
kill each other.
Yeah, we drafted him, and he sat and watched Cumberland and Vicky D every day. Oh my God.
They ready to kill each other and watching the shit out of it. Oh my god.
But he came and he just saw every day, man. He learned. He was like a sponge. He saw those guys and
Yep.
he learned.
Pick that
And
up.
now he's second in the league in sacks. Second year in. So we're very excited about that guy.
All right, so look, the red shirt process. You drafted him in the first row draft class. He sat. He played spot
Sat.
duty or sat the entire year.
He sat the entire year. Like if he got in, he didn't get in. I ain't putting him in if he got in.
Right.
He might have got in when I was simming defense against a computer or some shit.
How do a guy sit on your roster, just sit on your bench, but yet still develop enough to be able to plug and play, to be able to get rid of a Vicky D and plug and play?
Well, it's called the practice. It's called your top six. It's called working on D-line drills, or things that's gonna get him better. And he was in my top six all last year. Um, and then it was like, all right, this year's the year, and just put him out there.
And then when you
Um,
play playoff games, which give you extra games, that's extra development that comes to these guys. And then
mhm.
when you focus on certain stuff in your training, when you matching up against guys, those are with those whatever your six guys are in your training. When you do your focal training, it also upgrades that position. Um, Having a year with a DN also upgrades that position because every time Jeremy Cumberland upgrades and gets stats, it's putting points on Tyreek Smith as well. Um, Now that he's ready to play right now, how easy or how smooth was the transition from Vicky D to plug in and play him, and then who's
I,
next?
I don't even think he's. I don't even like. I don't notice the difference. That's the point.
Right,
It's like he didn't picked up so much, and he's actually stronger than Vicky D. He's actually bigger.
right,
So Vicky D was a little, even though he was 260, was a little light in the ass.
okay,
Excuse my French. Just his build, right? He was like a Von Miller. He was pass rusher. Um, you know, Tyreek Smith is the opposite of that. He's like Cumberland. You know what I mean? They weight worn warriors. And then what we did was we went and got his partner in crime. He's on the bench getting ready to be Cumberland replacement,
right.
Mr. Harrison. You know what I'm saying?
And
Double
where he
nickel.
from? And where he from?
Ohio State.
Okay, where Tyreek Smith from?
Ohio State.
Okay, pipeline.
Of course. Of
Let's talk
course.
about the interception leaders. Faulk, you know, Faulk O'Reilly. Speak the truth, right? Why is it three safeties leading in the interception race right now? Deion Harris for the Colts with 11, Najee Israel with 8 for the Ravens, and Petey McCoy with 8 for the Giants right now.
True ball hawks, man. I think well this is what I will say. It's double edged sword. One is they're great safeties, but two, I will say Madden just something about Madden when the ball in the air.
Right,
I don't know if it's something that people not hitting or not leading right, or it's something that people just haven't mastered this year because it's a lot of balls that get thrown. Um, I don't want to say ill-advised, but they don't get thrown right. Like you might see it, you might try to throw it up the field, and it might stay in the air too long. And these safeties is running,
hmm
and it's just so I think it's a combination. But I don't want to take nothing away from them. I think they're, you know, I mean, I played against Israel. He's as advertised. I haven't played against the Colts safety or the Vite or the. No, I played against the Giant safety. He's okay. I mean, when we played, I didn't hear his name too much. He might have had a pick or whatever, but he wasn't somebody that stood out.
Stood out,
You
right,
feel
right.
like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't one of those.
Now Deion Harris, I know I put him on this list. I threw him. I think I threw him 3 of them myself last night. Get the fuck out of here and knock it off. Damn, little badass cat. Fucking little ghetto ass. You know what? Get the fuck out of here, you little motherfucker. All right, my bad. When you go to tackle leaders right now, a guy that was paid $200 million, he's been living up to that contract, in my opinion. I mean, a lot of his stats came off of one game last year, but he's leading the league in tackles right now, 48, and solos 37 right now. Sauce Garner at the cornerback position is up here for the Lions with 45 tackles, 33 solos, and then you got Terrell Means 39 and 30. Why are DBs right now leading in the tackling department right now with all these linebackers running around?
Say that last part again. I'm trying to run it out.
All 3 of your top tackling leaders are DBs. I'm trying to figure out why are the DBs leading tackles this year when there's nothing but
Um,
dog linebackers running around.
you know, two
Second
ways you
level.
can look at that. Yeah, two ways you can look at that. Because guys are still running the ball. Um, but I think guys have gotten better in their short passing game.
Yes, sir. I was just great. Boy, I was waiting for that to be. I mean, it's the season of check down Charlie.
Texas.
Country road.
Texas route.
Release.
That shit was made famous 4 seasons ago, and right now it's like everybody and mama running it. Texas routes. Texas routes. But the check down game is there right now, man. Guys are throwing 2-yard passes. I mean, listen, if you catch a 2-yard drag and get 10 off of it, float your boat. I literally played Mike last night. He threw 21 passes to his running back. 18 of them was Texas routes. Between 2 running backs, he had 18 catches.
But you know more so about that? You don't care. That's the thing right now. It's like a lot of guys don't care. They don't care. Like it don't matter to them. The style doesn't matter to them. The how they get it done doesn't matter. Right?
I think that's why the league is so competitive now because of that.
They don't care. It don't matter. It's like, listen, I won. How I won don't matter. I won, right? And I think for me, I won't say I'm a Madden purist, but the work you put in or the skill level you show matters. You know what I mean? It matters, right? The wins and losses matter too, but I think now is the league primarily just don't care, bro. If you're gonna give them Texas route all game, they're gonna take it. You're gonna give them drags all game, they're gonna take it, and they don't care. Like I ran the ball like.
But is that borderline though? Is that borderline with breaking rules though? Still, bro. Like if you not. I'm not saying this because I'm like trust what I'm saying. But if you come out and every passing play is Texas, you audible hot route to a Texas route, you hot route to crossing routes. Like I mean, we had this before. We had a guy in the league that got around our rules of play calling by just hot route master, having hot routes on all his receivers, call different plays in the same formation, but set the play up the same way every single time. So now you're running the same play all game long. Is that like how do you look at that?
I mean, me personally, I think it's there's no skill there, right? You're just a product of the game,
right?
But I think we've created a so competitive league that by any means necessary.
Yes, sir.
As long as they ain't change, as long as in their mind they feel like they ain't cheating, they're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Because that means that much to them, as far as the win and say, hey, look, I beat X, I beat Z, I won the bowl. You know what I mean? I got there. Like I can't even. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember like how many times I beat people, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah,
like I don't, and this is not a diss if that people that do. I just stopped doing that like 17 because it don't matter. Like it to me, it's about me getting better, and if you get me, you get me. If you don't, you don't. More than likely, I'm gonna get you more times than you get me. But it's actually people that, yeah, man, look, well, I'm 4-2 against you. Like, huh? Oh, we counting now? Okay. Like,
I kind of never been that way, bro. And there's nothing wrong with that. Listen, it is nothing wrong with that because you're measuring yourself up against talent, point blank, period. And then if you wouldn't be a competitor if you didn't have that in you to be able to know your wins and your losses. And I always remember the losses, whether it was real life football or the game. I remember the losses more than anything. Yeah. So I can tell you my losses, but when I win, I win.
And I guess more so. I guess I should have said that part as well. I should add that. I remember the losses. Like I guess I remember the playoff losses. So like
more than anything, yeah.
Even when like last year when T was dominating, and I would catch him here and there. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be like I got him, or we'd be like, all right. But because what mattered most was what he was doing postseason.
Yes, sir.
Right, and that's what mattered. So it was just like, man, he dominated. He won about, if the league went 8 years, he won like 5 bowls, I think, right? 5 or 6, something like whatever it was.
He went on a big run.
He
won the majority of them because you won 2. His brother won 1. I won 1. He won all the rest.
Yeah, he dominated. So it's just like, and when I say dominate, like he was whooping my ass, whooping your ass.
Yes. Anybody played, same little system, nuances of the game.
He was whooping people's ass, and he was like, God damn, what the fuck? And then he was like, yo, he good, but then there was a little shit you see. Now he just better than me at that part of the game.
Right.
Um, but
And,
yeah, I
and, this,
mean,
and listen, the game changes every year, and
T wouldn't
somebody's
do
going
that
to
this
master.
year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree. And because
T
of the
wouldn't do that
game
this year.
changes every year, you're not always going. And that's why we always say, can you do it disc over disc? Because the game does change. This game changes every year, and not only do it change when you first get the next game, it changes throughout this year all the time. So something might come back that wasn't there, that never been there. Something
So,
might pop
so,
up. So
so let me ask you this. Let me throw this back to you. What's, in your opinion, what's impressive? Somebody that dominated a year, just dominated a year, or somebody that disc after disc consistently win at a high level?
that's more dominant. Like that's more.
Would you
That's
would you
more.
would because of the different nuances, would
Yes,
you
yes.
respect that more, or would you respect
Yes,
somebody that just dominate one disc?
I respect that more. When a person dominate in a disc, I want to see them do it again. And if they do it again, then they get my respect. Period. When you do it again, then you got my respect, and I'm gonna look at you as one of the top players if you can consistently do it. But we've seen it. I mean, we've seen guys literally dominate a disc. We've seen it. I mean, it happened last year. We've seen it. I mean, in 20, throughout that whole, remember, 20 was the first time we kept the league going the way we are right now. And we saw,
Right.
me and Jungle tied at 6, but that was his dominant year. He played him, damn near every other Super Bowl. He was there, winning them consistently. Like, that was his year. You know what I'm saying? We had guys that did it and then come back. And, I mean, boom, look at Boom. He had that 1 year and then came back, and it was nothing doing after that. Like, so I would say if I'm a person that's playing really well in this disc, carry it over and make sure that's your fight. Your fight is to carry it over. Just like if you win the Super Bowl for the first time, you want to show you can win it again, right? In case of D West, Nano's, and Max's case, now even Craig, you want to show you can continue to win them, right? I think Craig's on one of those runs I had in 18 where every league he playing in, he's in the Super Bowl and winning them.
Right.
And up until last season, this was one league he didn't win one in yet, or even got the one. But he accomplished that. I would think that his goal would be to continue to accomplish that. You know what I mean? To even do it again, come back, repeat it, do it again, and continue to be dominant. Shit. After 18, I won 12 Super Bowls in 18, and came back at 19, and I only won one. I was consistently making it to the NFC Championship every year, and played in multiple Super Bowls, but only won one. Then you come back in 20, I won 6 of them. Then you come back in 21, I won 3 in Game of Thrones and 1 in Real Draft. And you look at what you did from 17 on. I mean, you don't even know how many? Can you count them? You probably can count your Super Bowl losses more than your wins.
I don't really remember the wins, but I just know it's a lot.
Hmm.
I mean, in one league I just stopped playing because I was winning so much.
That was in 19. I remember that.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't. Like I said, that to me is, for me, it's not even. It's year in year out when you see my name across from your name. Damn, that's gonna be a fucking dog fight. Fuck out.
That's
Fuck.
more important
That's
than anything
more
else. That's
important
more
to
important
me
than
than
anything
the
else.
Super Bowl one, bro.
Yes.
Like a
And we.
motherfucker know he can't get on the sticks and just do what the fuck he want to me, or he gotta play a certain way. He gotta butt ball me. That's more. That means more to me than a Super
Yes.
Bowl. Because
Yep.
it's like, again, I can't tell you who won the Super Bowl 3 years ago. I can't tell you, nor do I care. It might have been me. I don't even like. But what I can tell you is that, like, shit, man, that nigga a dog. Shit, man, that nigga a dog. It's levels, right?
I would tell you this
So,
though, Faulk. This disc right now, the way the league is right now, I get on the sticks as a user, as knowing that I'm one of the top performers on this game. I get on and I line up against a lot of guys that I look at and know that it's a ball game. Yep, got a ball game coming right now. Um, it's some guys that I play that I respect playing them more than guys that hang around us in the chat will respect them, right? I'll give you an example, like the Browns. When I play the Browns, I know I'm in for a game. Some guys that be in chat would just put 60 and 70 up on him all fast, easy, and not worrying about it. And I would say to those guys that, one, we play each other more than y'all play him, and two, he's playing me different than he play y'all. until that 70 keep happening and he get away from the excuse on why it happened and he start to look at you as you're actually putting that 70 up on him, and then you start getting that different style of play from him because now he's gonna protect himself a little bit more. He ain't gonna take as many chances. He's gonna play a lot more smarter. When you get into those moments with guys, then you know you're getting their best and you know they play you different. You arrived. So anybody that's winning and that's a winner, I would say that would be your goal. Everybody has their own goals on how they want to perceive the league. In my case, the moment I made it a business for me is had to separate myself from you either want to win Super Bowls or you want it to be a business. You want to take your
Right.
leagues to something different. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's all types of avenues, but I'm such a competitor in those moments. I want to win. I want to win all the time. I don't take losing lightly at all. Um, no matter who it is, and maybe somebody might slip up and beat me once and can't beat me ever again. That loss is more important to me than a guy like me playing you. I know for a fact I haven't beat you this. That's important to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going through a diss and not having beaten you yet. That got to change. So that every time we play that game, that's in my mind. Got to beat this motherfucker.
Right.
But they're the things that I attack. As far as being a competitor. We're different
Well,
this time
well,
around.
the thing too is this is knowing the situation, right? So, for
Hmm.
example, like I probably haven't beat Max prior 3 games maybe. Like I think I know because we play in the playoffs and regular season, and most times in the regular season I just be like playing. Like I don't really be playoffs. I play regular season depending on when it is. You might get what you get, right?
Okay.
So this game I just played in, if you look at the score, like damn, Faulk aired him, but I really didn't air him. He had a rookie quarterback.
Right.
I'm not
In
gonna
the
hold
middle,
that
in
shit
the
against
middle
Mac.
of that's like the middle of the beginning stages of the season. Like he just went to a
Yeah, I'm
whole
not
new
gonna
quarterback.
hold that
Like
shit to
yeah,
Max. Like, yeah,
right.
Max, I whooped your ass. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. Like, because I know the situation he was in. Like, he played a rookie quarterback. First of all, I had the balls to do that
Hmm.
against somebody that you be like, damn, this motherfucker whooped my ass. So it was like even like to a point, I think score might have been like 21-7 or 28-7, and Kyler Murray got hurt. I didn't put him back in.
Right.
Like I put the rookie in just to not make it an even, but just like all right, now I see what you're doing, Brock. You know what I mean? Like I
Hmm.
respect it because you sticking with him. Like you ain't, he was getting air and still ain't go back to Elijah Manning. He
Right.
kind of just like he still, and I can respect that because it's like he got a bigger goal, a bigger plan.
Hmm.
And that's what it's about, man. That's what it's really
And
about.
you got guys like Snake. You got guys like me, Hitter, guys that Max too. Max is on that level now, and I think he does it. He's learning it. When I'm ready to talk about, far as like the roster changeover and always projecting out and things like that. He do it. I think he stared at his roster a little too much, which makes him make moves a little too much. And there's nothing wrong with I'm ready to say. You got your movement from me. You saw how I was doing it. We talk about everything, our teams together, what moves to make, what moves not to make, and you got into it. You get into it and you make moves. I think the Bryce Young move was more guys just getting quarterbacks. We all changed, and I went to Allen Iverson's son, Anthony Iverson. Hitter went to the rookie he just got. You picked up Howell in the trade and putting yourself in a situation for the just in case. Who else? You got Hoodie that went from his quarterback to Weber and went to a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? You got guys that's switching, and you see it, and then you see what's coming out. And that's the one thing about real draft. You got to stay disciplined because every class is going to be somebody you want or saw or had or shitted for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of guys that get picked up in real draft, guys played with them already. And guys, made them guys famous, and guys know names now. So because you know the name, you want shit, right? So I think Elijah Manning is stuck in between being 27, right, and looking to move forward again, but also seeing the movement on how other guys, that you're watching make moves and do some things and have success at that level of doing it makes them make a move like that. But to be able to make a move like that and make it stick by that move and still be competitive the way he is, that explains a lot about who he's becoming on this game, right? And then you got guys like Shoguns, you got guys like Craig, you got guys like Jimbo, who play their roster and the players that they've been playing with longer than we will absolutely play our guys. but because of that, makes them who they are right now. Makes them hard to beat. You can't trick their AI. You can't, there's not a lot of dumb players on the field, if that makes sense. And in that role and what they do, they dominate through that, right? And you just see guys different ways. You see how Snake moves, the roster he put together to be able to be competitive. I mean, it's impressive no matter what. Put yourself in a hole to fight every season, your last 6 games, you fight to make the playoffs and absolutely do it. Um,
Right.
that's impressive. A guy like Hitter who maybe trade once every 5 years. So his entire build is through the draft, right? So he's hand making his players. Like he's literally putting his team through his process and his development process and how he developed guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's like then you got guys that's smart that'll go trade, and you have to know who you are. You have to know if you're a guy that can develop talent. Because I could look at rosters right now and see rookies. I could see why a guy would look at my team and look at my guys' development and be like, man, there's no way you're commissioning cheating. I could see it. Especially when I look at your team and see that rookie that you didn't play at all ain't really moved no development. He's still at 82. He came out at 82. What the fuck? But you
Right.
can't see why my guy went up 7 points in upgrades. You don't see it. There's no way that happened without him doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like, in his ways. We just talked about your red shirted defensive end, who's now number 2 in the league in sacks right now. Who didn't? You said you didn't put him on the field yourself. He didn't play it down really for you, unless he got in his spot duties and shit. But he's developed in a way where he can play right now. And he's plug and play. And he's one of the better DNs in the league right now on his second year in the league. So it's ways to attack. I do know this. Guys are getting a little smarter. Guys are getting better with drafting. Guys are getting better with trading and moving things around to better fit with their, what fits them. You saw the Steelers. I mean, he literally built his line last year off of trading from pick 3 to the back of the draft and still won at the back of the draft.
Right.
We designed a league for guys to win. I mean, the moment you gotta have a first round pick and a second round pick, that's a win no matter what. The trades, how many times that I could trade and get the number 1 pick, number 2 pick, and then be sitting right at 11 in that same draft, right? Now, if you have the number 1 pick and you trade and get three players from that 1 pick and take the Bucks pick at 32, you still get a first round talent in that draft, and you picked up 3 first round talents in that trade. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand who you are and how you are. If you're a guy that can build your teams and you're great at building teams, I would suggest you draft and keep your picks all the time. But if you're a guy
And
that
people don't understand that too, though. That's a great point because, like, for somebody like me who moved up to get Justin Flo, right,
hmm
and gave away 2 of my farm system players to do it, right. I swapped picks and gave him 2 young studs
hmm
that I had on the tuck, right. And then for me to even get Eric Gilbert after the draft, I gave up 3 players, 3 was it 2 X factors and 1
and
superstar, something like
superstar, yep.
that. Like,
hmm
like where the Seahawks now got 3 players instead of 1 that he could plug and play in these positions and complete his team and complete his start in 22. Like that's important.
Right.
Some people looking at it like, he got fleeced, he shouldn't have traded. But if he got right now, he only had the 1 dog tight end, but he got a dog safety, he got a dog linebacker, he got a dog corner. That's 3 positions where now he like, shh, okay, I feel confident, I feel good. You know what I mean? Like
But
that's
the
the type
funny
of
thing
stuff
is,
people gotta
look what
understand.
Shoguns did. He wanted Lamar Jackson. He knew I played with Brian Breezy. He knew I played with Justin Flo. He knew what guys I played with before, right? So Flo went 3. He knew that was off the market. Breezy went 9, and he attacked me right away after the draft for Lamar. Nobody else is going to better give you this. But what he did was he drafted Breezy, and then came right back later on and drafted another D tackle in that same draft, projecting out again, knowing that he was going to try to trade that situation, knew damn well I was going to do it. Traded out. He got rid of a super dog at D tackle to get the quarterback he absolutely wanted. 3 other players to go along with it. And he drafted a D tackle in that draft. That's a starting D tackle for him right now. the problem is guys get caught up with, dang, how you get a top 5 pick again? Oh God, and then never really paid attention to what you gave up to get to those situations. So when guys is getting denied on trades, the blueprint is me at the end of the day. The blueprint is me, and a lot of times I let shit go because I know I got access to everybody. So I talk to everybody more than a lot of guys do. So be having that access, makes it easy. Get the fuck out of here, you little badass fucking cat. I can't stand this little motherfucker. Damn, get your little dumb ass out of here. Um, but it ain't a player that I've traded. You can't look on nobody's roster that I sent people anywhere that's still not playing at a high level right now.
Right.
And then these guys. I mean, fuck. Some of these guys that I traded, if I don't trade them, maybe I'm sitting on 3 Super Bowls and not losing 3. Think about that.
Yes.
Trading these guys right in their prime or right before. You know what I mean? Like, think about that. That's big. Like, but it's your preference on how you want to move, man. Everybody has to find their niche and what they like to do. Then once you do that as a GM, then you have to find your way of playing the game and turning those situations into victories. And I go all the way back to the oldest thing ever. You have to build for your division first. You don't win outside of your division until you can win in your division. And to win in your division, you have to know everything about the people in your division, up and down. Not just how they play the game, who they have on their team,
Mm-hmm.
how they're using these guys on their team, who's their stars, who's the guys that you could take advantage of. Everything you have to know all that first, and then you have to better complement that. All right, well, he got this guy as a quarterback, so I look at my division, I see we got Malik Willis at quarterback, we got Stanton at quarterback, we got Wise Montana at quarterback, right? Every last one of these guys have some type of dual threat in them, right? Or they can move the pocket, right? So now it's Lamar was in my division. Now Anthony Iverson is on our roster. You drafted Anthony Iverson, pick number 10, the last draft in Game of Thrones before real draft, and I traded you for that quarterback. I knew I wanted my real draft quarterback to take me into the real draft right there when it was either going to be Anthony Iverson or the quarterback that's sitting on the Philadelphia Eagles team right now. You drafted him, right? But then you look at those quarterbacks, and then what's the next thing? All right, everybody in this division got dual threat quarterbacks, and I would say Stanton is more of, I want to call him a pocket passer, but he definitely moves the pocket a lot. So we got a bunch of mobile quarterbacks that can move the pocket in our division. So the next thing to do is speed at the DN, power at the DN, and then the linebacker level, you got to be fast there. So you can run with these running quarterbacks, right? So in my division, I look at what I gotta face. Now you look at the Steelers. He attacked his defensive draft last year in real draft, the first draft, not the second real draft. The first draft he went defense heavy, which is smart. Now you're building your defense to be able to keep up with those type of quarterbacks, right? That's in that division, and then you continue to projectile out. You look at the Browns. He realized he's getting long in the tooth at the cornerback position. First, it was the safeties. He addressed it, the speed there at the safety level. Then he realized the linebacker level he had to take care of. He addressed those situations. And you take your time through that address. Either you trading for it or you waiting for draft to project out for it. But you got to put that type of work in. And that's a real GM building his team and understanding where he at with his team, right? And you look at how the whole NFC moved. The moment those 6'5" receivers started coming over there, guys started looking for 6'3" corners, 6'2", 6'4" corners, guys that can tweeners, guys that can play both. And you watch their whole division start to move in that direction to be able to stop what's being built in that division. And the moment everybody start doing that will be the moment where guys start closing the gap, guys start being competitive in their division. And then you can start, projecting outside of your division in those cases. So it's there, bro. You just guys gotta. It's all about how are you? How serious do you really take this game in this league? And if you're in this league half stepping, you're in the wrong league. But if you care and you really get after it, man, you can put yourself in a situation where the last thing you need to be worrying about, if you build the right team, that team will play for you. Then you got to work on what you do as a coach during games, how you coaching your games, what do you do? If you're a guy that's throwing 40 interceptions a season, cut down interceptions by not throwing the ball as much as you throw the ball. We got guys literally playing in Super Bowls right now. We got guys literally winning. Nano won a Super Bowl. He was a runner. He ain't out here donating. He letting you donate, and he's playing off that momentum. He's running the ball at you. You got Craig just won his first Super Bowl. Look, Faulk, you run 4 of them running the football.
Mm-hmm.
4 of them running the football. I mean, dominant numbers in the run game in the playoffs. So guys you gotta be like that in the regular season too. You just can't get in here, throw 8 picks and then want to quit the game. Or your son played for you, the cat pulled the club, all that dumb shit. Like you gotta play smarter. Cause some guys should be playing every game like it's a playoff. Those guys that haven't sniffed the playoffs yet, you need to change your way of thinking to be able to find a way to make the playoffs. And not everybody's gonna make it off of what I'm saying. I'm just putting you in a better situation as a coach, and until you build for your division, you cannot win outside of your division. Fuck, we had a bunch of young quarterbacks playing, whether they rookies or their first year quarterbacks that are in their first season as quarterbacks right now.
Yeah, you got to be able to, build for your division, man. I give shout out to people come at me about saying he's a top 15 player with the Niners. He'll still get aired here and there, but now he's competitive now. He built this team to beat my team. You know what I'm saying? Like we were playing competitive games. It took him 4 or 5 seasons, but now we're playing competitive games. Sometimes now, even to the point where he can win the game, or he's excited now to play me. So like shit, I got a chance.
He's looking at them pieces, bro. He's looking at a piece like AR-15 at quarterback. You go get that type of player, and it's a game changer. You've done what you could do with a Trey Lance, right? Trey Lance hasn't, like my thing is, if a guy don't overkeep a person, don't be scared to make a change. At the same time, don't be too fast to make a change too. If you can't develop a player fast, don't make the change fast. And if you can't develop a player fast, you need to go get developed players.
Developing skills, bro.
Exactly.
Like some people could develop a receiver or running back, but some people can't develop a linebacker or DB. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know how to put their DBs in a position to get picks, right? Like some players know how to. All right, I'm gonna call this coverage, motherfucker. All right, I'm hard flat. Boop, I'm gonna put him in the slot. Boop, pit. Like some people know how to manage their team to produce and build players. Some people don't, bro. That's why they hold on to them.
Yep. So we stay at that quarterback position right now. We look at Anthony Iverson. It's his first full season as a starter. Bryce Young as a diaper dandy. Not only is a starter right now, but he was a starter for the Vikings in the first couple of games, and now he's a starter for the New York Giants. You got Kenny Pickett, who has his team with 4 wins right now, as a diaper dandy who redshirted last year, and his young cannon season, which is the second season, is the starter for the Texans right now with 24 touchdowns, 69 Ts. You keep going down. Akil Glass goes from the bench in Arizona to a starter for the Chargers right now, and he's sitting on 17 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, 69% right now. Has his team 3-3. You continue to go down. You got Derek King, who's in his second year, right? You keep going. Ritter's in his second year. You look at some of these quarterbacks and you keep it on moving. Ugalele in a situation where the guy's not playing though, but I guarantee you he would have been a starter for Jimbo if Jimbo was able to play. He's on a roll right now and can't play on hotel Wi-Fi. AR-15, Anthony Richardson, another young guy. You got Emory Jones, who got the start, but then he's tanking. He probably won't even be his quarterback next year if he lands in that era where he's going to be able to pick one of those quarterbacks in this draft this year. Weber, you've seen him he benched the shit out of his quarterback, and then 2 seasons later he plays in the Super Bowl, and one of the best Super Bowls we saw. So you see the young talent running around. At the quarterback position. Malik Willis is in his second year. You see the guys now. Not all these quarterbacks that are playing right now are successful. Some of them are never going to be successful, right? Some of them will be. But when you look at the quarterback position Faulk right now, Kyler Murray is on top of the world still as the best quarterback in the league right now. Bradshaw's right behind you this year in yards wise. AI is the 3rd best quarterback. Bryce Young's 4th. Kenny Pickett's 5th, and then Stanton rounds off 6th with Akil Glass. Now you look at the guys that's throwing touchdowns right now. You're light years away from everybody else. Your quarterback is like Jaleel Ruggs in a run game. 41 touchdowns. The next guy to you has 29. Bradshaw with 25. Bryce Young with 25. And you got Kenny Pickett 24. Stanton with 23. Darren Thompson was 23. DT. The Eagles' entire offense has changed amongst around that quarterback. Remember when we said this was the worst decision he could have made, back-to-back drafts with quarterbacks? His offense is on a different planet right now because of this quarterback right here. His faith was, I hear what y'all saying. You know, he didn't second guess it. He rolled it out, rolled with it, got the guy he wanted, and look at what he's doing. 23 touchdowns, 16 picks, 68%, 313.4 yards a game right now. Again, guys are, you know, when you stick to what you believe in, and then you make it work. You know, you make us praise you versus talking shit about you. It's that simple. The running game is a little different when you get to these running backs stat wise right now. Your top running backs. I don't want to talk about carries and guys that run their fucking running backs in the hole.
No, I think carries is important, man.
I just hate talking about it because we know the story. Guys are gonna run the fuck out the football. I mean, my thing is this: are you running because you are a runner, or are you running because that's the game? That's the game right now.
No,
It's
I think
easy to get
people
your
are
guy on
running
fire.
because it works for them, right?
Okay.
And I think it gotta be like that's a part of people need to know. Like for me, I would like to know, like for example, if somebody has 200 carries but they got 2,000 yards versus somebody who got 1,500 yards but 80 carries. To me, that's important, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's important because now I'm looking at it like, well, you know what I mean? You run that motherfucker in the hole. That's why he got that many yards or that many touchdowns versus somebody who is doing a lot less but got some, you know, if they had the equal amount of carries, that surpassed that production, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay.
Like I think it's important, man. I think it's important to talk about it. You know, like I'm not gonna call anybody a dog if they running them in the hole. Like the Raiders running back, he'd never get called a dog from me because he lead the league in carries every year, or even the Panthers. Like I'm sorry, I just can't call him a dog.
So what if within that running back in the hole, that's their system though? Like if it, you know what I mean, their system is the run.
I still can't call him a dog because it's like it's easy. This game is easy to do that.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with that part.
It's easy to do that.
Easy.
So like if that works for you and you win at it, cool. You know what I'm saying? But I can't. I got to look at like somebody that's averaging like Jaleel Ruggs. He's averaging 10 yards a carry. That's impressive, right? That's impressive. So if somebody's got more carries and averaging, got the same amount of yards as Ruggs, but got 5.5 yards a carry, that's not impressive.
I hear you.
They just got more carries.
You gotta think about this though. At this point right now, we literally week 7, right? We in week 7. 11 games left. We in week 7. We already got one. Let me get to it. We already got 4 running backs over 1,000 yards. Week 7. And the one that got 8.5 yards a carry right now. He only got 135 carries. Jawan Springs from the Texans.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
I mean, Jaleel Ruggs, 1162, 9.1, 31 touchdowns on 127. I mean, even his carry production is not as high as we used to custom to seeing it. He's down carrying the football right now. Cummings at 162, 1204. He's still averaging 7.4 pop.
I think the Bucks should start maybe trying to get a backup going.
They're on his roster. He got them. He got the guys to be able to put it in play. So I would ask you this. Why? I would ask you why should he get a backup going?
And his injuries on. You got to be, you know, like it wasn't for me when I played Max and I put Howell in. That was 2 parts. It was like, all right, well, he got his rookie and put mine in. But it's 2 like, all right, let me see if I could do something with Howell if Kyler Murray get hurt. You know what I'm saying? I have multiple 1,000-yard receivers for a reason because at any point in time, y'all might be called on to be the dog.
Right.
If I only got one dog and that one dog go away, I'm asked out. That's just my looking at it.
No, I agree. I play the game for that reason only. That's why I always have different situations going. I can literally, you don't think I can motherfucking go bonkers with Casey Fields in the backfield every year? Like if I wanted to, I could go bonkers with him, but yet his brother get the carries.
Well, it was like
the rookie get the carries. You got to.
Remember, I playoff Williams, 2 Super Bowls in a row. Said he, you know what I mean? He set the bench that whole next season.
But if it don't bite you on the ass, sometimes when you do that, me doing things I do when I bring guys, you have been successfully doing it. Still one behind it, won the big game 4 times. I've roster turned over every year and give up 4 or 5 starters every year, and yet I'm still chasing my
Well,
first big game. You know what I mean?
that's why you and Snake are pitch on the same boat. Y'all great GMs, but the GMs get in the coach way.
hmm I
And
agree.
you guys do it to yourselves, where it's like, sometimes you could keep a guy extra year. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to. Like it's cool for you one year to be not in the top 10.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool for you to say, you know what, this year I'm staying pat. Wherever I end up, I end up. And
Right.
I'm not treating pretty much anybody. Like I'm gonna just keep the continuity, and I'm gonna keep, you know, my team together instead of going through the same growing pains with different rookies or second year
I
redshirt
agree
players.
100%. I agree 100% because I gotta give myself that chance to say, let's play with this roster. I did. I will say this. To counter that, I projected myself for that to be able to, come off the first couple of real drafts and be on that level where I don't got to get rid of nothing, and I can just keep the roster together and give them that 4 year run, 5 year run, and see what happens. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm in that
Got
boat
you, man. I
because
gave
you
that to
got to. The
Isabella.
the league is
I
that
gave that to
competitive
Andre
where if you don't do it,
Armand.
you in them situations, bro. Because it's a tell it too, bro. You can get in a game and be projected to win that game, and I'm playing with, a whole bunch of first year players and things like that, and then you got a veteran football team, and it's just the mistakes are
Yeah,
just not, you know
you
what I
gotta
mean?
think about it. Remember, I had Brian Murphy
Yeah,
and Godwin, right? Then I got rid of Godwin. It was systematic. I got rid of Murphy.
right.
Then 2 years later, I got rid of Godwin. At the same time, remember, I drafted the two superstar corners.
Yep.
I named them
And it's
Prime Sanders
Prime Sanders and
and Reeves.
Revis. Yep.
Right now, they getting older. What do I do? Go get Cat? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta do it, but it's times you keep them. You know what I'm saying? It's times you keep them and let them rock out. And it's some players you're gonna keep, like your Anthony Israel. You probably gonna have him till you about 30. But then there's some guys you might have for 6 years. And then, you know what I mean? It's tiers. Some guys you might have for just their rookie contract. Um, so it's multiple ways. No way is the right way or wrong way. But I think for y'all two specifically, y'all change over too much.
I know. It's a big sacrifice when you move around like that. Cause listen, I'm not getting the number one pick, number two pick, number three or four or five every year by just giving up a corner or safety or running back. Or I'm giving up guys that flat out could still be on my team right now. Like just you can go back to Game of Thrones, the last next to the last draft of Game of Thrones, and those guys are 26 years old right now. Guys that you know what I'm saying that are in the league, impact players right now. Imagine that being my team right now, and I have to see that out eventually, like eventually, or you keep phasing out when you ain't supposed to. You lose the game you ain't supposed to lose, or you're expected to win and you don't win that game. You keep doing that. I think that with the transformation of Snake, the way he do, we on the same page. You're 100% right, and I think that's the difference of him being fighting for a playoff spot or in the playoffs, getting in it like he is right now, getting in it clean. And the funny thing is he ahead of schedule right now. And the problem is when he get to the teams that he need to beat in the playoffs, those guys are been on their rosters for 3 and 4 or 5 years, and he's playing with that younger team, and he getting the playoffs, and it's a mismatched game because it really matters. You know what I'm saying? You saw, you look at Jimbo's fight. He took the ass whoopings, and then all of a sudden his team, AI, his players, veterans all over the fucking place, they just were better than your players. Only because of the awareness. It don't matter what the overalls look like or the speed look like and all that, but awareness players play better than
Yeah.
young great players. Period.
hmm
And that's the motto. I win in off seasons because of the players that I can trade, but I lose in the same postseason because of those players I made those moves to get. So I get it right now, man. But when you look at this run game right now, 4 guys with 1,000 yards or more rushing right now at week 7. And you continue to look through the league and you look at runners. I'm trying to find up and coming runners, but it seems like Faulk, the same guys are there. Now, my question to you is the lack of production during the regular season lately from Hits Israel, does that always take him out of the conversation as the best running back in the league?
Yeah. I think we made up our mind that to me, because the run game is just easy. It's easy for you to run the ball 25, 30 times. Get 150 yards, 3, 4 touchdowns, whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for me, the way that the DBs are, the safeties are, to go out there and try to master the passing, that has always been me, right? I
Right.
just in the playoffs, I've tempered it a little bit to say, all right, this is what I need to do because this is what everybody else is doing. But I say that to say Hits, he's a dog. People know what he could do, but it's when he does it that matters to me.
Right.
That one postseason when he had 17 touchdowns, all purpose, that's never been done. Will I get credit for it? No. People remember it,
Somewhat.
possibly. I mean, he had 2 punt returns that was nasty. He had receiving touchdown, rushing touchdown. I think every game he had 200 yards rushing. Like, it would never be done again when he did, right? Never. He had literally had 17 touchdowns in the playoffs. And it wasn't just rushing; it was all purpose. But when it matters, I know he there. So the conversation of best running back, he probably never be in it because his stats don't. I'm a numbers guy, so his stats
Right.
don't. But for him to be on the best offense in the league, hands down, year in and year out, that and be the running back and be like the
I mean, the wild card round, you played a guy that didn't touch the field all year. He had 160 plus yards and damn near 4 touchdowns in that game. Out of nowhere, and that's something not, a lot of us ain't doing at all.
we talking
Now
about who we talking about.
you talking about the running back from Miami? You had Harris, I think it
Oh
is.
yeah, but yeah. But see, that's what I do. People wouldn't do that, but for me, that's my, and it's just me personally. That's me trying to create a challenge for myself when there really is no challenge.
Right.
Not saying can't people beat me, but I'm just saying like I need to create. Like right now, me shitting with Gilbert is just to see how nice I can make him.
Right.
How dominant can I make him? How dominant can I make a player? And when you had the success I've had, you need something to keep you motivated, and it's not really beating people at this point.
Right. Right. No,
There's
I
no
agree.
way.
I agree. I mean, I'm definitely in that category as the motivation. I got a million different reasons that I'll stay motivated. And here's the funny thing: winning one is motivation of itself for me right now. When you look at these running backs, though.
Let me ask you. Hold on. Let me ask you this though. This the Faulky being real.
Okay. I mean, ain't that the
Is
Faulk
winning
Rally show?
is win and run really that important for you, or is it the people that have won one before you?
Um. Wow, that's a great question. Shit.
And how they might view you because you don't have one.
I think I'm more concerned with the attitudes of those that won one before me, and knowing that within the circle of and let's just look. Max, Craig, Nano, all won Super Bowls, right?
But none of them with a straight face would say they better than you.
I would hope not, but I would think the way these motherfuckers are competitive wise will feel that
Hell
way.
no.
For real. I mean, Max said he had a fucking, what was it? What did he say? Chance of beating me every time we play. What did he call that shit?
I think he said 50-50.
I thought he said a little bit more than 50-50.
No, he said 50-50, but
Yeah.
yeah, one thing y'all gotta understand is like we all got goals, and since I've been playing in y'all league, without y'all even playing hard, sometimes my goal is to beat y'all too. Like that's the tip top of the
Anytime you play us,
mountain to
no
me.
matter what
Anytime
the
we play
cost
y'all, I don't
is,
give a
word,
fuck.
yeah,
If it's regular
right.
season, I don't care. Focus
See,
on
but that's being
I don't care
real
if
right
he's
there,
I don't care if
though,
he's throwing. I don't care if he's throwing woo babies and playing with my players, my old players, Ronald Jones and shit. I don't give a
Right.
fuck what he doing. No
I'm
matter
trying to-
what,
right,
I'm
right.
playing hey, don't call my phone, don't text me, don't do shit
right.
because for me, this is my Super Bowl. No matter what you say, and I'll admit
Right.
it, bro. Like when I play y'all niggas, bro, regardless if y'all playing for real or not, I'm playing to win, nigga. Fuck all that shit, bro.
But that's
So-
the realest shit that come out of your mouth. Like that's realness. You feel me? Like my thing was this. I had my complaint was two things, Faulk, and I think one fixed it. All right. Um, I really the transformation from moving and then playing under the circumstances I'm playing on, being in a house with a lady that has dementia, who transforms every 5 minutes. It's very hard to stay focused and do things and play the game. And then I had connection issues with the internet just itself. So like I thought I started to feel like you guys all started to look at me as if like what's going on with him? He losing the motherfuckers that he shouldn't be losing to and all that. Like did he lose it or something? I felt like on some real shit, like I was onk at one point, like just making too many excuses of the internet and all that shit. Now, so be it, was part of it was setting situations that I had that I wasn't set right and all that too. That changed a lot of the way the things I was complaining about, right? But yes, that's been really like think about this. All right, Nano wins the Super Bowl. He beat me, then he beat you in the Super Bowl, right? And then before he even got to the Super Bowl to win that year, me and him had a talk, and his attitude was towards Craig and Max on how they used to look at him as a good player, and now they think he ass and all that shit, and that motivated him for that Super Bowl year, that run, right? And he just happened to get it. And I told him that same attitude, you can't, don't you win one and come back with that same attitude. And he did exactly that. Very next season,
Didn't make the
we played in the
playoffs.
regular, yeah, but in the regular season, he said some slick shit to me before we played and all that. And then I aired him. Remember, I went 19 for 19 with Lamar. I ain't throw an incomplete pass. I fucking had 100 yards rushing with him and like 200 with Fields. I was doing whatever I wanted in that game, and I was making a statement at that point. Um, and then like now Max after his Super Bowl really ain't say nothing, but I think Max autumn and he's right for feeling this way because you can't be a competitor if you can't look down at anybody. You gotta look at you could play and play with anybody you play. But like I just a couple things he said that made me feel like, are you serious? All right, you know what I mean? Like okay, here we go. But I think more with me is it is those three guys won it. The fucked up part about it, they don't realize I'm more proud of them winning it than anybody else because I know the work they put in and what we put in together with them putting the work in. I know where they came from and how they got to it, and it's an achievement because it shows that what I like to do and my help as far as how I can help you learn this game a little better and spending time amongst us and all that gets you on a level where you start to see things a little different, and that sight you see is the reason why some of these guys took that next step. Their talent that they have already is enhanced by being around talent. Simple as that. Would you say iron sharpen iron, or how you call that shit? You always say like, I think that so with me with Nano winning it, and I seen where Nano came from. I'm proud of that. When Max winning it, I seen where he came from. I'm proud of that. With Craig winning it, I seen where he came from. I'm proud of that. You know what I'm saying? Because as a commissioner of the entire league, this is the first time we've ever had this happen, Faulk, where we have D West won a Super Bowl, my boy. Nano won one. Craig won one. Max won one. And you won four. We got 5 different Super Bowl winners. What league have we ever had that?
Oh, it's been probably been a while, maybe. Where we had that multitude of different champions. But no, I just bring that part up just to say, like, if you ask all of them, though, they still know who you are. So really, it's like LeBron, right? He chasing a ghost, meaning like he's great. He's great. Like no matter what he do, he's gonna always be great. He's gonna
Right.
be one of the greatest to ever do it. And winning a ring or winning much more than Mike don't matter because you still ain't gonna have more than Bill Russell. You
Right.
still ain't gonna have more than Robert Horry or so. It's
Hmm.
like you tying Mike or beating Mike. So it's like you chasing a ghost. And
Okay.
I think you're chasing just getting one to say you did it, but really in reality, bro, you made a decision, and that decision, basically from a business perspective, put you at a chance to possibly not win a ring. And I think long as you get that respect, and you still getting, I don't think you really need a ring, bro.
Right.
Like I don't think
Nah,
that difference.
but the competitor in me is like, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. I'm winning one, and I'm going to win one. So like that's how I feel, and I gotta feel that way. But I get it. I understand that. I just think this. I think the growth of our league is because of, you know, in the direction we're trying to go is more important than what did you say to me the other day? You said, Ant, in 5 years, what you gonna be remembered for? Winning Super Bowls or the shit you building? And I took that really serious. Like, wow, you're right. Because at the end of the day, you can't. It's not too many people that can go to another league right now and say they got the competition they got over here. And everybody don't gotta like the way we move over here. You don't have to like it, right? You can look at guys and you can discredit them in any way you want. What I will say is there's nothing not available to any 32 users in this league that's not available to somebody that will take advantage of what's available, if that makes sense. It's your choice, period. Once you playing in this league and the way we are over here, it's your choice to play in it or not. Some guys don't like the editing that go on, but but then they can't miss a draft. They in every fucking draft they play 4 games a year, but don't miss the entire from round 1 to 7. They're there, locked the fuck in for that draft class. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we've done some things that we changed the way that the franchise is played right now, and my job is to expose that farther and to turn that into some light shed on what we're doing in franchise mode. My goal is to make us just as important as the MUT situations that go on. You feel me? And I think we have that to do it, right? But that's my goal. So I think I've been seeing a bigger picture. You told me 3 years ago you gonna have to make a decision: Super Bowls or business. You told me that 3 years ago, and I didn't listen to you. I didn't listen to none of that shit because I was still being able to win it, and it's hard, bro. It's hard giving a lot of yourself out and still being able to be at a high level of competition wise, especially when the league is fucking off the hook. With competitors, and everybody's competitive, bro. Guys that are locked in this plan, they competitive, and you gotta think about it. Our 24-hour league goes from summer to summer, all year long. Like, guys are locked in, bro. Like, so, um, I would say to the guys that's new, that haven't had the winning success yet, the Faulk, would you agree with this? To stay with it, and listen. Please don't be the guy that fuck they talking about. Listen to what we saying on these shows. Whether it's Snake on the show hosting, Max on the show hosting, Shogun's on the show hosting, you're on the show hosting. Listen to the gems we giving out, to the jewels we giving out. We're telling you certain ways to be able to get to the point of being able to look at it and feel good. Because first thing you're gonna feel is you're gonna get better in our league. You're not gonna see it in our league. You're gonna see it in the other leagues you're playing in. Then once you start to feel it in the other leagues you playing in, you realize what we're doing over here actually works, and it's getting you better at playing the game. It's just not transpiring into you being successful here. And then eventually it starts to be you start to be successful here. Everybody has their own path, and they're going to take their own road to that. But the information is there. It's up to you to come get it. Like, I would tell users like the Rams, the Seahawks, I would tell those guys everything they're doing right now. Faulk, would you disagree or agree with that?
Yeah, listen, man. Me and Seahawks played yesterday morning, and it was one game. That motherfucker was like dotting my ass up, and then it's like, I don't know if somebody talked to him. I don't know what happened, or he watched YouTube and he kind of got away from it. He was like sometimes you just gotta know what you're looking at.
Right.
So after yesterday's game, he was just like, "Yo, man, can we get on his headset next time we play?" And I'm like, "Yeah," because he really is good. He just gotta understand what he's looking at. And
Yes.
sometimes if you know what you're looking at, it'll be better for you to, you know what I'm saying, to play. And that's what kind of everybody that you spoke of got better at, man. Like, even you, like, you got better. Me, I got better by asking questions, by being around the people that was nice and saying, "Yo, how you do that?" And like, it's cool to share, and you got to just reinvent yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool for people to thank you, Aunt, thank you, Craig, whatever it is. But hey, man, listen, it's over
Bro,
2,000
you
plays
not
on
gonna
it. You know
find a league where you can damn near hit anybody up and niggas is willing to help. Like, that's the thing. We built so much camaraderie amongst this league, bro. Guys don't have no problem. Like, come on, Fall. We come from the dog days of selfishness. Niggas wouldn't even run plays because they don't want you stealing their shit. Like, we had a spot now where we all competitive, but we also a helping hand to guys. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just me on the business end of, yo, listen, you come do a session with me, it costs this much, or you can buy a package, none of that. I'm just saying, I told the Seahawks the other day, yo, set some time aside. You got so close, you're getting close. I don't want you to fall away from that. I'm going to do a session with you, a free one. We're going to do one together. Because they're that close, you feel me? The Rams right now, he's just in build mode. Like, I'm watching him as a GM. He's getting that part of the game down. And then once that part comes to him, everything else starts to be a little easier and shit. But the only advice I would say to those guys is you have to take advantage of this game. This game is built for running. You shouldn't be in games throwing 8 and 9 interceptions ever. Ever. Period. Ever. At all. So however you hear what I'm saying, if you are listening, if you hear what I'm saying off of that, please, you should never come out of a game where you're throwing 7 or 8, 9 interceptions in the game. Guys shouldn't be able to send their players to the Pro Bowl off of your game. Simple as that. Because you got to lock in. Decide to get your running back 30 carries. I don't care if you're averaging 2 yards a carry. Them turnovers is the reason why guys are putting up 70 and 80 points on you. Not the fact that they just that much better than you, because turnovers turn into momentum, and momentum, once it's swinging, is over with. If you don't capture it back, you're getting aired. Simple as that. So I would say, to those guys, because I know when I play certain guys in my division now, if I play the Browns, I might come out of the game with 1 interception, bro. We play a good game. But if he throw 4 or 5, he getting his ass whooped. Simple as that. So what do we do when we play? He put himself in a situation where he's not throwing picks all game long, or not giving me the ball. So the momentum stay clean, and next thing you know, if I throw a pick or two, now momentum on his side changes everything right now. I'm going to advance the league. I still got some things I want to talk about. I love this episode right now, episode 5, season 2, real talk. It's called the Faulk Rally. Truth being told, yeah, talking about that shit. Faulk, man, what about the competition in the league as a whole? Like, I hate this motherfucker, bro. What, man? What the fuck is you laughing at?
That's it. Injuries are off. Games are set. Just hit it.
Oh, all right. I'm ready to go right back through it. I can't multitask. No, I can't multitask. Who the fuck I play next anyway? I hope they on deck. What we got coming up? Fuck, we got coming up. The Lions. Uh-oh. So I could just hit it right here?
Yeah, I mean, you said you got Shoguns as giving up the win, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right. You got the injuries. Turn the injuries. All right, good, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Injuries off, turn them back on.
All right, so let's go back to. All right, so Faulk, we got away from the running game. Here's what I wanted. This is the question I want to ask when it comes down to the running game. When you look at the guys, again, we got 4 guys going into week 8 with 1,000 yards rushing already, right? I mean, fucking Jaleel Ruggs down there he 31 touchdowns and he ain't even halfway through the season yet. We're looking at possibly 70 from the running back position. But look, let's talk about the running backs right now. Let's just talk about yards, guys with the yards right now. A lot of these names been here, and I guess you could separate it from production of guys giving their guys the ball all game long versus names on her. So let's take a look at. So we talked about Bass, Cummings, Ruggs. Springs is a new running back on this list. First time, Texans user been able to play a full season. He's active, he's playing his games right now. And we had a dog running back from the first draft class right now that's sitting on 1,152 yards, 17 rushing touchdowns. He's averaging 164.6. How much different a user that can play the game and is active can change for that Texans team right now, being 4-2, and got a running back that's in the top 10 right now.
I mean, it's big. I think, it might win them the division, in all honesty.
When you look at these running back names on here, a lot of them are familiar names, Stokes. But then you got names like Walter Payton, who's been in this list for the last 3 seasons. All right, so D. West finally found him a running back over there because obviously this guy's been having, the last 3 seasons, he's been within that top 15 as a rusher right now. So these are the names that I like to see. Walter Payton Jr., who's stepping up. All right, so Hal Street's been there. ETN been there. Tim Hamlin, we've seen him up and down. He got 678, 11 touchdowns. But we know this guy. He's been there. We called him Baby Reggie Bush. How about Tony Moody? He got him out of free agency last year, the Browns. and he was a top 5 rusher last year. Right now he's sitting on 95 carries. They drafted Brian Robinson Jr. from Alabama last year. Redshirted him. Didn't see the field at all last year. And now he's, on the field. Let's go to the Browns roster for a second. But Tony Moody made a name for himself last year. He played for the Lions. Really wasn't really heard of until he went over to the Browns. Let's look at what he did last season. All right, so last year he had 298 carries, 1864, 15 touchdowns in a run game. As a receiver, he had 52 catches, 528 yards, 10.2 average, and he had 3 touchdowns. So out the backfield, he did a lot of catching the ball for this team. Now, right now, he got 95 carries, but when we look at their team, it looks like they're rushing between 2 running backs right now. Brian Robinson, 25 carries, 136 yards, 5.4. All right, so we know Tony Moody's the bell cow right now. He's under 100 yards a game at 91.7. Is this a player that we continue to watch the progress, or do we say he arrived because of what he did last year for the Browns?
I think we still continue to watch the process.
Mm-hmm. I agree, but I agree also. I also think this is a guy. He showed off last year. I mean, he's on pace for 1,000 yards, but I don't think he's not going to do what he did last year, in my opinion. So we're looking at Journey Brown, the journeyman, 638. You played the Seahawks on 5.7 yards a carry, 6 touchdowns. I mean, 6 touchdowns on the year, 91.1 yards a game. Right now, you got Herschel Walker, you got Kendrick Watt. I'm trying to look for the next running back right now, man. And I'm going to stop right here at Boone Jackson. Talk about Boone Jackson and the excitement he had coming out, being a number 2 pick in the draft. 6'3", 245 pounds. We haven't seen him back since Deion McCoy, who absolutely was a bust. Then, not a bust early. He picked it up later on in his career. But the early stages of coming in on some Derrick Henry type shit, we didn't get to see that. But then we're looking at Boone Jackson, who's in his 3rd season right now. 92 carries, 592 yards, 9 touchdowns right now. So I'll ask you, Hitter, if somebody was to call Boone Jackson a bust, how would you argue that?
I would say he isn't. This is his first year as a starter, so I'll give you a bust when he hasn't been playing for 2 seasons.
Now, most guys...
Smoking Hayes has been the number 1 running back over there.
So what kept him off the field being a number, like you traded down in that draft? It's one of the only drafts you traded down in, and you picked up Boone Jackson at number 2. What kept him off the field? Is Smoking Hayes was that much better?
Smoking Hayes never fell off. I literally had to sit the guy down just so Boone can play because I didn't want him to go to a waste. But Smoking is still the man. Will always be the man.
All right, so when it comes down to Boone Jackson being a starter this year, how much time does Smoking Hayes cut into him being the super bell cow for this team, where guys run their 1 running back, you got more than 1 playing in your system?
None. It's strictly Boone Jackson this season. He's 3rd down, he's power, and he's number 1.
Okay. All right. The guy that you went up to go get in the second pick overall, is he still that guy that you saw from the moment you drafted him? Is he still that guy to you?
Yeah, he's definitely met my expectations. It's like I said, with any rookie running back or rookie player, period, it's always a learning curve. He has to learn how to run behind the line and stay on his feet, and it took him a couple of seasons to figure that out, but he's ready.
No doubt. How much getting him going at 6'3", 245 pounds, the power he comes with, the speed he comes with, he's an elusive back that's one of the most powerful backs in the league. Getting him going, what does this do for your offense? Just give me your vision of, now that he's the full-time starter, give me the vision of what you're going to see what we're going to see later on.
Without giving too much away, you should be able to see a mixed bag. He's capable of doing everything, catching out the backfield, blocking for the quarterback, and also running rock up the hole and around the edges.
Right. Man, this guy can really be special. I come back to him because, we're looking at him at season 3 right now, and we're looking at a guy that, was highly, highly sought after. To the point you had to go down to 2 to even get him. to be a Washington football player. And now is finally getting a starting job. Sometimes guys' paths are different. Not every rookie, that come out has to be a starter right away, right? And you feel like again, your team was built in a process where Smoking Hayes was still a guy. As good as Boom Jackson is, you still could take your time with him. There's no real wear and tear on his tires right now.
Yeah, if you remember, I traded Antonio Gibson to get
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
So Antonio Gibson was the man
Mm-hmm.
when he left, and Smoking Hayes was the guy that came in the year before Boom, and he waited his turn. And
Right.
it would only been fair for Smoking Hayes to get his shot at being the number one, you know, without the new guy just coming in and taking his job right away.
No doubt.
So he won the job in training camp, and that's the route we went.
All right. Some would say running back to the house is the new Saquon Barkley for the New York Giants right now. You've played this coach multiple times with a to the. Um, do you is that a true statement to say with a to the house? Is that
Um,
type of back for him?
he don't have the same impact as a Saquon Barkley,
Okay.
but you do get the same output. You can come out of the game and not really know who the running back was that scored all those touchdowns on you. Is what I'm
Right.
trying to say.
Okay.
But not to downplay him or not, because he is a dog.
Mm-hmm. Bake Sanders. Will we? Is his days numbered, or will we see better football out of him if he's somewhere else?
Is that the guy that's on the Packers?
Yeah, that's Bake Sanders. That's the little Barry.
Yeah, but I can't remember what team he played for.
Man,
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers.
His arrows are red.
I got one for you.
He got one more season to try to do something. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I would say the same thing. I think he's in a situation where, but see, the problem is this. Remember we talked about guys keeping players that maybe they shouldn't. I think the Green Bay Packers can turn his whole entire roster around off a running back like Big Sanders. If he threw him on the block, would 30, 28, 25 to let me see, 25 to 30 teams come calling?
32 would call.
I think 32 would. I think all 32 would.
32. I
Will
mean,
ask something about
just
it.
to have a guy like this on your roster is a bonus. Whether he's going to be your number one or not. All 32 teams will appreciate having this back on their team. I say 31 because the 32nd team already have him. But yeah, 99 speed, 98 acceleration, 84 carry with the down arrow. He got almost 90 break tackle, 85 truck. He's a dog.
Man. In a game where guys, run forward, fall forward, let their guys get on fire, fall forward, this guy can really make it shake. Like he has agility out this world, juking out this world. And the right hands could be one of the better backs in the league. And just sometimes guys just come out and go to teams that you just never gonna really be heard from. Over here. But look, James Cook, Dalvin Cook's little brother, is in charge of football. They tried to Saquon Barkley move. That didn't work for him. I would say that, James Cook is a better fit right now.
Yeah, he's not that super fast running back you need, but if you know anything about this Charger offense, that's not the type of back or personnel he likes to have on his team anyway. So this
Right.
guy is a 3-4 down type back that'll chop away for those easy yards that he need, in addition to a dangerous passing game.
And he can catch the ball out the backfield for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so Zeus, Philadelphia Eagles landed a complete bell cow, and they showed it last year. But 93 carries this year. Are they wasting his talent right now? Or are they not? They're not building off the momentum they had last year, or do you feel like he's right on pace for what he does?
I've been watching the Eagles, and I see the route they're taking. They're not one-dimensional. They're a mixed bag also. And if like you spoke on earlier, if you're going to give him the crosses, the slants, the deep routes, he's going to take them. So there's no need to run the ball if he's scoring on a passing play every 2 downs.
And my thing is this, so this would be the next question. But when it gets to those teams that you have to be able to run the football in, is Zamir White ready for that right now with 93 carries?
I believe he is. Zamir White with a mix with Ace and Spade. They and then you got you have a running back in Darren Thomas.
Yes, sir. He's sitting
So
right here,
so
48 carries, 436.
it's a pick your poison type of offense over there in Philadelphia. So kind of like Baltimore, where you like, oh man, their running back is not getting that many carries. Well, you have to look at their other running back that's getting the ball first.
Right.
He's got
Right.
100+ carries, then you know something is working somewhere.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you start looking at names. Jalen Hayden, I think they got another back over there. McCoy. They drafted the best running back in the draft. We haven't seen any action from that guy whatsoever. But they drafted the best running back in the draft. Again, Deion McCoy, 6'2". Tell us why he's not on the same level as Boone Jackson.
Why? Why?
Where's he at?
Deion McCoy, 6'2", 240 for the Falcons.
Falcons. He's in the wrong offense.
I agree.
He's in the wrong offense to be in compared to Boom. As you've seen with Deion McCoy, this is a more of a greater show on turf type of offense where they're going to hit you with all type of route concepts and making catches that you've never seen before in the game. So to have a running back like this,
To have this type of running back, you have to make a commitment. I guess that's what I was asking you with Boone Jackson. To get it back to come out like that, you got to be able to make a commitment. Because at any moment, you got to be comfortable with 33 carries or more.
40. You gotta, this the type of running back that you gotta pound all game, and that's not the Falcons' offense.
And it sucks because when you got this type of running back, it literally can stop you from leading the league in interceptions every year, having that type of guy in your backfield. So I'll ask you, why hasn't that clicked for Coach DC 404 and the Falcons with Deion McCoy? And then they went and drafted another back with this type of ability to replace him.
It comes down to the offensive coordinator. The quarterback only can run the plays that the coordinator are calling down to him. I don't know if Steamer Demon has or C.J. Stroud has full command of the offense when they're under center or in the shotgun. So it comes down to the front office on this one.
I agree. What I would like to see is, they have a dog and Robinson over there at running back. They have a dog and running back. But we've seen that same situation when he first got Deion McCoy. The difference is Deion McCoy came out on Star. B. John Robinson comes out on X Factor. So they got a guy, the moment he unlocked, he's ready to go for this team. Hopefully we get to see a little bit of it. Spencer Moss, man. Jackson State. Deion raised this kid. And the Dolphins, as soon as they drafted him, he became their starter. I think they're doing a little bit of time splitting between their backfield right now. But me personally, I thought when they drafted him, they found the perfect running back to be in shotgun with and run the ball. Because, if you watch Jackson State offense, they're never under center. So they're in a situation where he comes from that type of offense already. And I think it improves their run game, especially with Derek King as well. Now, we talked about it to the house. But they drafted another running back that had, 12 touchdowns last year, and he barely played, Isaiah Spiller for the Giants. Is this the reason why you said you can come out of the game and a running back have a big day and you don't really know who it is?
Yeah, because he got 3 running backs over there that he used at different times in different moments. So you don't know who you getting beat up by. What I'm saying? You kind of blindfolded. You don't know until the play is over. You're like, oh, that was to the house, or that was Spiller, or that was Barkley.
Right.
So yeah.
All right, let's get to the receivers. Our last conversation. Right now, on this list, you got 3 tight ends in the top 5 right now. Eric Gilbert, 54 catches, 985, 18.2 yards a catch, 164.2 yards a game, 19 touchdowns. Then there's 99 Reasons with 33, 852, 25.8 yards a catch, 25.8 yards a catch, 142 and 10 touchdowns. Before I talk about Thornton, because this is a big conversation too, Darnell Washington, DW. 37 catches, 813, 22 yards a catch, 13 touchdowns right now. We had drafts where we saw runoffs with tight ends. It's not the first time we seen it. This is not even the first time we seen. This is the first time we've seen two tight ends go in the top, three tight ends go in the top 15 for sure. Two being in the top 5. But why? What's different about this group, right? Because there's a couple more tight ends that I'm not even talking about yet. But what's different about this tight end group from the last time we had a runoff for tight ends in the first round? That group. What's the difference between these guys right now?
I think the difference is height and weight, and also that most teams have their wide receivers already. Tight ends were kind of a neglected position for a while. Then you start to realize that you need guys that can catch the ball, that won't get double teamed by corners. The guys that can block these DNs and these linebackers coming off the edge when need be. And this draft class had those guys. So a lot of people attacked those guys early, knowing that they wouldn't be there later.
You know what else I would say, though, Hitter? You seeing the emergence of tight ends right now in the top receiving stats right now because of where they went.
Yeah, you can take that into account too, also. But a lot of these guys already had tight ends before,
right?
So that's so I don't really put too much onus on that one.
Tyquan Thornton broke the clock on a 40 time. The only player I've ever made with 99 speed, 99 excel. Why? Is it the speed alone? But why is he having success for the Texans right now? 23 catches, 826, 8 touchdowns, 118 yards a game, averaging 35 yards a catch.
Tyquan Thornton on the Texans? Titans?
Yeah. Texans.
I don't see him.
He was able to get you. I'm talking about Tyquan Thornton. Let's look at this. Listen, for Beller, for his speed, we didn't see outstanding football in real life about this guy.
He got Latu.
Huh?
Texans got Latu.
What that mean?
That's the tight end they got. They got from Latu.
I'm talking about wide receiver right now. I'm not talking about tight end. I'm talking about wide receiver. I'm sorry. My bad. Wide receiver Tyquan Thornton. This is the Tyreek Hill of our days right now. This is the guy that comes out with that type of speed that's just like, and all he had to do is put it together. Put the speed together with route running, catching the football, and building him on that department. And he's a dog right now. Now, I'm not saying he has the best numbers as a receiver right now, but, what is he getting with a guy that come in the league? Even though he still needed to be built and all the core attributes, but 99 speed, 99 excel hitter, he ran a 4.2.
You're getting Reek. You're getting Hollywood Brown. You're getting
at 6'3".
CJ 2K at running back. You're getting a flat out burner who fits into the streaks and flies type of offense. Just say hike and let him go, and he's gonna outrun 85% of the cornerbacks in the league, and he's gonna get up on the safeties faster than some teams are used to.
I agree, man. I think what we're going to see here is an undrafted receiver becoming one of the best receivers in this league, and it starts with that speed. Speed kills. All right, so Nano has Bo Lynn with 33 catches, 798 yards, and 10 touchdowns right now. And the team that runs, would you fix your lips to say that Nano is becoming a better passer?
Yeah, he's definitely a better passer. But it also comes from the run game setting up his pass games. You get so lulled to sleep with trying to stop the run that he sneak a pass in on you, and when you have a guy that's 98 speed, 98 acceleration. You crashing the line and trying to get back to catch up with this guy is impossible.
Mm-hmm. All right, Sheldon Ward is the veteran amongst this group. Sheldon Ward is 7 years in right now. He has 11 touchdowns, 755. Doesn't feel like he's the number one receiver still in Arizona when he's supposed to be the number one receiver in Arizona.
I know if he was at home, he would definitely be the number one wide receiver. But
I'm waiting for y'all to make that move.
he found he, Faulk dropped the ball on that one this season, but it's okay.
Can we bust a three-way move right here with Boone Jackson in the mix? Oh shit!
That's not happening. You calling out the wrong names.
All right, man. Look, Chadwick Boseman. I mean, Mr. Deep Ball himself. The fucked up part about it is for him to be the deep threat he has been, he's only averaging 17.3 yards a catch right now. But remember when I told you that this tight end group felt a little different? The number one player overall-wise in the draft was Michael Mayer, who went 5 in this draft. And Mike has him in a competitive situation with 37 catches, 699, and 8 touchdowns. Again, do you think this tight end group is a little bit more special than the ones we've seen in the past?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That the tight end situation was neglected for a while, and a lot of teams didn't get their tight ends early.
Right.
And if they did, they got them. They got it was select. It was like 1 or 2 in the first round you saw for a couple of drafts, and then this draft they just came flying off the board. And then the way this draft and league goes, that when players notice a certain position falling off the board, everybody attacks like piranhas and just start grabbing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened this draft.
99 Reasons is the number one target over there for the Bucks. Henry Ruggs is getting up there in age. He was the number one receiver threat for the Bucks. We're starting to see an emergence of rookie Boo McCoy. Now, if you've been in my leagues, you know who Boo McCoy is. I always draft Boo McCoy and make him famous. He always comes out. He's a dog. Go back to his modern day tapes. You can even go back to his USC games before he got hurt. Dog, flat out dog. This is one of those guys that was an athlete coming out of high school that could have went anywhere in the country as a receiver or anywhere in the country as an outside linebacker. He's that good. He comes in the league with 95 speed, 95 excel. Craig uses +2 speed, +2 excel. Got him up to a 97, 97. He has a 6'3" Henry Ruggs right now. 25 catches as a rookie. We don't usually see this out of the Bucks offense. Somebody young like this getting a chance to shine. With 25 catches, 699, 9 touchdowns. Is this the player that can make him, move on from Henry Ruggs?
Boo McCoy?
Yes, sir.
No.
Hmm?
No.
Hmm?
He's just a compliment to Henry Jaleel Ruggs.
No, not Jaleel Ruggs. Henry Ruggs, the receiver.
Henry Ruggs. Oh yeah, definitely. He's a Henry Ruggs replacement. This might be his last season on X Factor.
Look, Jalen Waddle has been the best receiver in the league for a number of years. He's been in the league for 8 years, and 8 years he's been one of the best receivers in the league right now. His numbers are down. 28 catches, 681. Is this the Dolphins? Is the reason why his numbers are down, or is this Jalen Waddle getting up there in age is the reason why his numbers are down? We're usually seeing, Jalen Waddle from game 1 to game 18 as one of the top 2 to 3 receivers right now. Why is his production? I mean, the catches 24.3, he's still up and down the field on guys, 9 touchdowns. What's going on with Jalen Waddle? Should we be concerned, or is the Dolphins getting better in their offense right now? Dolphins looking for Waddle's successor. He answered the question for me. He said, you done disappeared and shit. Justin Rawls, 6'4", 205. You go back to Clemson's championship years and all that shit where they first got Sunshine at quarterback. Justin Rawls, before the knee injury, was one of the best receivers in college football. He can't. Same thing with George Pickens. But I think, again, we talked about it with the Bears finally finding their number one receiver. They got it over there with 31 catches, 653, and 7 touchdowns. Nick Candy for the Chiefs, 8 touchdowns. I'm trying to look for that name. Here we go. Another tight end, Zach Wheatley. He's playing pretty solid right now. All right. And then another tight end, Shannon Sharp. They come from that. Look, Shannon Sharp was picked number 1 overall. Wheatley picked number 1 overall. Michael Mayer picked number 5 overall. Darnell Washington picked number 1 overall. Eric Gilbert picked number 11 overall. You're starting to see these tight ends that were picked high, whether they got redshirt of year 1 or playing right now. All those guys are making noise right now in the league right now. So if I'm all right, here's my advice for young Camden. Right now, Jalen Waddle is still a hot commodity in this league. All right, let's look at him for a second. At 29 years old, right? I need you to trust two things. You know, at 30 years old, because of the salary situation, guys are going to be getting dropped no matter what their production is. But we have something that's coming to make you comfortable with a guy like a Jalen Waddle, right? Jalen Waddle, without being on X Factor, is still one of the better receivers in the league. There is no reason why right now Jalen Waddle shouldn't be on the trade block. Right now. And I think at this point, right now, at 29 years old, Jalen Waddle still will get you something good. I'm not saying, you're going to better move down to the number one pick, number two pick off of Jalen Waddle. It's not going to happen because of the age. And guys are unsure of what's going to happen with 30-year-olds, right? But trust, maybe wait till we pick the new way of moving the rules out that we're coming with. The waiver system is coming back for practice squad. And we're going to have right now, I'll just give a gem out right now. So what's going to happen is quarterbacks will stay safe just like linemen, no matter what their age is, as long as they're playing at a high level. They're going to better stay on their abilities. All right, quarterbacks and linemen. Linemen will stay no matter what. Quarterbacks, they will be evaluated, and if they're not playing, superstar X Factor ability, whatever they on, they're going to come down. So, for example, if you sit your quarterback and he's 31 years old and you play another quarterback, that quarterback going to drop. You know that. But if you're still playing that guy, he doesn't have to have a magnificent season for him to stay on his abilities because we're kind of leaving him alone. Defensive linemen, they're going to get to age 32. At 32, doesn't matter what they're doing. At 32, they're going to drop all the way down to normals. Any player that's 30 years old will get dropped. We don't care what they did. Every team will. This is a might happen. Every team will get one player to choose on your roster that's 30 or older that you're still playing really well with to be able to keep his ability. No 30-year-old will ever stay on Superstar X Factor. They will come down to at least a superstar. So, for example, if Faulk decided Isaiah Simmons is a guy he wanted to continue to play with, we look at Isaiah Simmons' stats. We say he's still playing at a high level, but he's not going to be an X Factor anymore. He drops down to superstar. And then it's up to Faulk to continue to play at a high level with him to keep him at superstar no matter what his age is. Other than that, all 30-year-olds will drop. Everybody will have one guy they can keep, and any defensive lineman will be able to keep their abilities up to 32 as long as they're playing at that level to keep their abilities. Quarterbacks are safe. Linemen are safe. Practice squad. Week 3, when we turn off abilities, practice squad will open back up. It won't be open for the masses to go in there and take who you want, but the waiver system will come back out where you'll better pitch your bid in for a player. Nobody's going to better hoard players anymore because what's going to happen is there's going to be hard on free agency because everybody can sign everybody back now. So to negate that, we're going to open up practice squad and guys can bid. And it's going to go, first bid will be worst record, the best record. Then the next week, the bid will be best and worst. And we'll continue to do that throughout the entire season. And then the age guys that got these older players on their roster, it's time for y'all to start making moves and flipping over. And I'm giving y'all opportunity for that now. That's why we didn't, start this early on. But those guys that are 30 years old are getting dropped, 30 years or older. And you will be able to keep one guy that's playing at a high level that's 30 or older on their ability, on at least a superstar ability. So that's going to be planned. It's not in play yet. We didn't vote on it. I gave y'all some juice that I wasn't really supposed to give y'all yet, but that's where we're going. I say that because Jalen Waddle is a guy that now you can trade, and the next man that get him can still not have to worry about him dropping lower than a superstar as long as they're playing with him. Get what I'm saying? So right now, you should be on the phone trying to get rid of Jalen Waddle right now and knowing that he's worth a third this year and a third next. It's just that simple. Other than that, I'm the fuck out of here. I appreciate the talk. Appreciate y'all riding out with me. We're gone. Where the Lions at, man? Let's line up at the 50, my boy. Holla at me. And you said you need homeboy before the season's over with, right? Let's go.